Bam, 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 bam. Today on How It's Made. Lucinda first in the chat. Mytho, Ace, Cheesehead, Chad, Jordan, Blue Bombers. What up, what up, what up? Jay, what up? So happy to have you all here. Did y'all hear my rendition of the How It's Made intro? It was pretty good just now. Today on How It's Made, we're gonna blow some glass. I'm gonna get all my shit opened, all the stuff and whatnot set up. Oops. Sorry, froze for a sec. What up, Chad? Kyler? Lunny? Lunny, it will be that same color. We actually can't do different colors or it would be a different price. Isaiah, Queen, Adelmo, Cole, what up, Aaron. It will be this color though, where's a good example? The silver fume. Yeah, definitely, yeah. Glad you mentioned that because we can do that. Just like this. That's a silver fume at the very end. So we're gonna silver fume it at the beginning to get this color change. And then at the end, we'll do the lip like this. Yeah, there's Green Space Tech shot glasses right there. Salad dressing. This piece is also available on Instagram right now. I believe the high bid is $25. Every day we do a discount piece of glass during the stream that one of you can scoop for your very own. Today will be the Traveler Pendant Rig. $50 shipped to your door hole. $75 with the matching pendant. I'll show you the pendant real quick as well. Yeah. $75 for the set. Usually one or the other would be $75. Oh, thank you, Mytho. I really appreciate that. I wonder if we can set that as an auto comment eventually. And the puppos need to say hi. Hello to the stream mascots. This is Lucy. Lucy, yes, hello. Why are you so distracted? What are you doing? Come here, you gotta come say hi. Yeah, you hit your head. Marley, come say hi too. That's Lucy, and this is Marley. Marley, quick. Sit. Come on. Yeah. This is Marley. She's the best little baby. Little child. And the other is Lucy. Oops, sorry, I kneed her in the butt as I was walking away. Let me get all this set up and turned on. Get chat all moved over. We're gonna let the oxygen machine run for just a few minutes. That's that loud ass noise you hear in the background. That won't stay on the entire time, I promise. Yes, it looks, it's kind of the shape of Africa, but like it's kind of an off center heart a little bit. Yeah, she got a little booty heart. Yeah, we're not monetized yet here. We need about 2,000 more public watch hours. How many? God damn, y'all, we're averaging almost 200 subs a day here on YouTube. Oh, fuck yeah, Jojo. We make things for everybody. I make shot glasses. I'll show you each of these. We make shot glasses, we make cups, we make pendants. I've got merch bundles. So if you would like to support, we've got all kinds of stuff available. You just being here is support enough. I appreciate y'all's company more than anything. Fuck yeah, Ace, I appreciate that. That's exactly what we've been doing. I have a playlist up right now that I've been asking people to just leave on playing in their fucking old devices or whatever. I have two here myself that I'm watching the live video with. Actually, only one of them is watching the live. Let me put this one on the live too. Gotta pump them numbers up. Oh, Aizawa needs placed back. Thank you, thank you. How disrespectful of me. I appreciate you, Lenny. Yeah, we're gonna get that worked on first. Lenny, oh no, Lucy, do you gotta go to the bathroom? We talked about how dogs, or how the whatchamacallit, Labradoodles have bad bladders, and I think they got excited for when the stream started. One sec. Oh god. That's whatever. I don't care. Y'all can look at it. I was gonna say I'm gonna try to get it out of there so y'all don't have to see it. But yeah, little spot of pee. It happens with dogs. Let me let them out real quick. They get excited and just start pissing all over the place. Just wanted to make sure it wasn't gonna fucking drip everywhere. Hello, friends. She got so excited, she peed a little bit. She's so happy to see y'all. I mean, that's valid. I get excited to see y'all too. Okay. She was embarrassed. I also have a bad bladder. I'm gonna move this protein shake out of the way. The one that we made last night was 100? Either 75 or 100? Most everything is going to be affordable. Most everything is going to be under $100. Because I would much rather you have a piece made by me than a poor 7-year-old in China who doesn't have ventilation or the proper glasses to even be blowing glass. Oh, thank you, Mytho. Yeah, this is my favorite part of the day. I absolutely love streaming. How much longer? I'm gonna let the oxygen machine go for just a little bit longer. I'm gonna start how it's made then, so we have some background noise, because I know that fucking concentrator is loud and annoying. I don't have a website. Everything is sold direct or made custom to order, although Instagram is a great place to see a wide variety of my work, as well as we have a couple listings available there right now. The Instagram is going to be the place to get the cheapest pieces. The listings that are up for auction are always cheaper right now than what they would be direct. Y'all remember where we left off last night? I remember above ground pools. I remember Mattress pads. I remember skin cream. We'll go woven we were here. Yeah, woven cashmere fabric. Because I remember making fun of the skin cream. We were like, why did they... Yeah, I remember. Okay.
The art of weaving has been around since the Stone Age.
Yeah, we do customs all the time. We will eventually be gaming, yes. We will be hosting custom lobbies for Warzone. I just downloaded Multiverses. I would like to do some group games of Multiverses eventually. I have a Twitch, so we can use Twitch to game still. I just can't, I don't have a capture card, so we can't go from Xbox to stream immediately. That background noise you hear will be turned off immediately. It's going to get a lot quieter in here in just a few minutes.
This machine opens up the fibers and mixes colors together. The carding process removes impurities and reduces.
How do you buy the piece from tonight? So, the discount piece, we just sell it direct through here. I can give you my Cash App, my Cash App, PayPal, or Zelle, and it's either 50 for this or 75 for the pair. Yeah. That is a great piece. Yeah, sorry, Jay.
The machine combs and twists the layer of fiber in preparation for spinning.
Glad you did as well, Jojo. Welcome. Yeah, I was playing Warzone earlier as well. I'd love to catch some games with some people randomly at night as well.
Into threads.
I sometimes start my day with a couple games with an old friend. Fuck yeah, Ace. They are both yours, friend. What is your preferred payment method? We can do Zelle, PayPal, Cash App. What are the other ones? Are there more? Are there more payment methods than that? I feel like I'm missing one. How tall will the final product be? Around 6 inches. They usually end up pretty good size, pretty good rig size. So about this big for yours, Lenny. PayPal, gotcha, friend. I'll type that into the chat. I don't have a Venmo myself, unfortunately. They kicked me off there, but I do have a PayPal. Do not put anything regarding pipes or drips or honey or anything like that in the memo, Ace. Just put your first, last name, and your address, and we'll get that out for you tomorrow. Shoot me a message on Instagram too, so I have a place to send tracking. I appreciate you and your support. That's our discount piece of the night. I appreciate you, Ace. Thank you. Can we get a hashtag Ace? I know hashtags don't fucking do anything, but I think it would be weird for everyone just to say Ace instead. So hashtag Ace does the job, I guess. We'll start doing that too. What up, Luis? Welcome. Yeah, Mytho, that's what I was wondering as well. We have, there's auto messages. I can program an auto message to go through chat. Appreciate you, Ace. Participants, pop out chat, manage model. I know I can do a timed chat that goes out every so often. We can put that as a part of it. Y'all don't have to correct everyone though every single time. I do really appreciate the fact that y'all do, but if someone says it more than once, I'll correct it. I really don't care if it's somebody's first time in here and they do. If it's a repeated thing or repetitive thing, then I'll mention it. But at the very beginning, if someone goes, "Hey man," or someone goes, "Hey dude," or "What's up, bro?" It's okay. If it keeps going, then we'll mention it. I feel like at a certain point, someone will pick up on it, no matter how many times it gets said. or not get said, that somebody will see the message eventually, it'll get through. So y'all don't have to do it every single time, although I do really appreciate it. Especially on TikTok. I think eventually I'm just gonna make my actual username on there, they, them. But again, it's not that big of a deal for me. It's not on the list of the forefront of things. Respect definitely is. If we get to the point of me asking somebody to do different, then yeah, at that point then. But yeah, I don't really mind it. Fuck yeah, Ace, I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being you. That piece is lovely. Will look great together. Also, that's a pendant rig. That's a pendant rig with a pendant, so you can wear them both at the same time. You can stack. You can style on them like that. Yeah. I'm looking at it right now, and because there's a time delay on the video, so I can actually see what that looked like. It actually looked really cool if you have it on 2 different lanyards. Oh, no worries, Jojo. People slip up. They, them pronouns for me, gender neutral terms for everyone in chat. It's just safe bet. Just they, thems. And like I said, I don't take offense unless you go out of your way to do it on purpose, and which we do not allow here. We ask for general cordiality and respect in chat, just to keep it a nice, positive place. But again, I know what I look like, I know what I sound like, so anybody who hops in there immediately is gonna go, yeah, that's a dude, right? Which is fine. That's just society. That's how society works, and I can't blame them for being a part of it. And we do live in a society.
A dyeing machine.
I appreciate y'all. Thank you for being here.
The entire fiber drying process takes about 2 hours for a reel this size.
Jay, you sewed your dad. Awesome. I'm excited. Thank you for reminding me, because we actually have to put that bowl back in the
hair called wool tops are used to make
in the kiln before we start it, because we're gonna make the holes in that bowl a little smaller for you.
A worker feeds the ribbon-like thread into a blending machine. The blending process
yes, I can.
threads into one large strip.
I can do literally anything.
Combs and twists the blended fibers, then spins them into a single strip.
We're more limited on the limitations is how much y'all want to spend. I can make anything for as high of a price as possible. We can start just fucking throwing opals on stuff. Opals are very expensive, but yeah, we can literally just start tossing opals at stuff. Hang on, this is, I don't show this as often as I should. I know some of y'all actually haven't even seen this. But yeah, it's more about what you're wanting to spend versus what I have the ability to produce. Because we have, I can do recyclers, I can do literally anything. Oh, also, speaking of, this is the raffle piece. Speaking of doing literally anything, this is the raffle piece. Tickets are $10. God, I have soot all over my hand already. How did that happen so fast? $10 per ticket. There's 42 spots available. We will be doing the giveaway for first and second place for, not for this, but for the giveaway tonight. First place will be a spot in the raffle plus a merch bundle. Second place will be a spot in the raffle. You can also purchase one direct, outright. Again, only $10, and you could win this whole piece. This whole piece made by yours truly, lava lamp. The inside lava is shiny as well. It's iridescent. Sometimes I do put my hand in the fire, but only if it's a small fire. Also, I make recyclers. Again, we have levels of glass at every point and of all kinds. This is technically a Klein recycler because the drain is built in. I've got a dual uptake recycler over there. Yeah, prep on TikTok, and then we assemble different pieces on here. I actually don't think I've ever showed you all this piece. Since we're on Adult Swim, I can. This is a laser etched rig You ready? You ready for the big reveal? Now that's art right there. A pendant, also a rig. It will have a removable downstem. I actually have another one of these. The other one I actually like better. Completely forgot I haven't showed these to y'all. This one is actually color change. Meaning under different ray or spectrums of light, it will turn purple. This one is the Maid rig. You ready? You ready for the reveal? We might have to do this one quick. I won't leave it up for long. Actually, it's art. I don't think we'll get flagged for it, and you can't really hardly even see it. But yes, this is the Maid rig. This is CFL reactive, meaning that under different spectrums of light, it will actually change colors. Here under LED, it's very, very bright green. Under regular house light spectrum, it's darker green. And then if we had a fluorescent light, it would actually be purple, which is fucking wild. When that happens, I wish I had a fluorescent light in here, because that color change, it literally happens like right in front of your eyes. This changes color, and it's wild to see. I'll try to find a fluorescent light at some time.
It's brighter than a car headlight, with 6 outer LED lights for floodlighting.
How much for a whiskey glass?
And 3 inner LEDs for alternate spotlighting. The dive light begins as a conceptual drawing.
I'll do this one
Mechanical
for
designer sketches out its basic
35
features
shipped.
And a few proposed shapes.
This one actually should be exactly the size
Then
for
the
whiskey.
company creates foam models.
Remember, my hands are very large.
Test these models and provide feedback on the comfort of each shape. This market research results in the final design.
What do you mean it's not letting you do PayPal, Ace?
With a user-friendly operating switch and 3 LED battery life indicators. The housing's components are made of durable plastic pellets, reinforced
You didn't
with
put
glass fiber.
anything in the memo, right?
Workers load the pellets
Anything
into
like
an
pipe
injection
or-
molding machine.
Or honey, just your name and address, right? Oh, gotcha. Well, let's just do Cash App. Fuck PayPal. PayPal already doesn't like me. They kicked me off their site once before because someone literally put for pipe and bowl in the memo. It's like, I didn't think I would have to ask to not be that specific about what you're buying, even though it's technically not illegal. They don't like us.
Explore underwater caves and shipwrecks. The deeper you dive,
yeah, that's
the
it.
more water absorbs certain colors in the light spectrum. When you use an artificial light, you can see the underwater.
We're gonna have
world
Fireball.
in
I'll
true
join
color.
you. I actually got more of my cheap
The
plastic
dive light
bottle
is
vodka.
waterproof to a depth of 295 feet. It's brighter than a car headlight, with 6 outer LED lights for floodlighting and 3 inner LEDs for alternate spotlighting.
We'll have a website with everything available eventually. I do really appreciate y'all going through all the trouble of fucking chasing me all over the place and going through different websites for payment and stuff. We're very young in our streaming life. We're literally only 1 month in, so we'll quickly have a lot more streamlined of a process, and I appreciate y'all hanging out until we do.
A compact hand-mounted dive light with a user-friendly operating switch and 3 LED battery life indicators.
We can make one. The only thing
The housing's
is,
components are made of durable plastic pellets, reinforced with
yeah,
glass
we can make
fiber.
one.
Workers load the pellets into an injection molding
Let
machine.
me make sure we have.
The machine melts them.
I can
and
do
shoots the
actually
molten
a
plastic
low
into
profile
proper mold
one
for the component they are making.
Because of how small this rig
The
is.
machine then cools the plastic to a solid state and ejects
Try to do a small bowl for it. If you want to do
reflector. It combines the light from the
100 even, I can make a matching bowl for it. Do a honey drip bowl.
Colored in aluminum to increase the amount of light it reflects. A 3D printer produces prototypes for all of the parts before they are manufactured. Guided by a computer, the printer shoots out.
Yeah, it'd be a tiny little bowl, but we can definitely make that happen. Do a matching honey drip bowl. 100 even for an entire set.
Once the prototype is approved,
yeah, blue.
Mass production.
Just a little bit of blue randomly added to it.
This part is called the light pipe.
We can definitely do that.
Covers for the 3 LED battery life indicators.
We can have the honey drip off of the blue if you'd like, or we can just make it a blue bowl if you want a 10mm bowl with a blue attachment. If you have other pieces that are 10mm, you can obviously use this piece there. If you got a blue piece at home, it'll match nicely. So I cannot do the large scale pieces, the 2-foot large crazy percolator bongs. Those are made on a machine called a lathe. It's the thing that spins the glass. I hand spin every piece, which means this this pound of glass here, I have to hold at arm's length for hours at a time. That's why we have demon hands. But 18 inches of glass at a solid 6 inches across is going to be about 5 pounds of glass, and having to hold 5 pounds at arm's length is just too much. I'm strong. I'm getting stronger, but that's just too much of a workout for it to be profitable, I guess you could say. That's a lot of work, a lot of labor. I appreciate you. Yeah, I know a lot of people like the bigger pieces. I myself prefer bigger pieces, but we're limited to what I can make. Most stuff ends up being about this big. This is usually not as big as I go. I can go about twice as big as this, but that would be 14mm on the joint, and then about double the everything else, which is doable. I can do it. I just prefer working on 10mm pieces. It's a lot less glass. It's a lot less likely for it to break. But it's possible. I can do bigger pieces, just not crazy giant ones. I can do maybe like a foot tall piece, like a nice. But again, as I always say, we're limited to what we can fit in the kiln. Everything has to be able to go in here for an annealing cycle, or else it won't be strong. Won't be strong. It's the same process as firing pottery. The annealing process is the same, not the same, but annealing pottery and annealing glass pretty much does the same thing. Different process. Those use glazes, and the glazes harden around the pot. Yeah, different process, same, but different. For sure, Kyler. I appreciate all the time you can spend in here. Oh no shit, Ace. You work for Disney? Like the park, or like Disney in general? Because if you got connections, I'm trying to be in some movies and shit. What kind of pendants do I do? Literally anything. I've got that Pick of Destiny that I showed y'all earlier. Here is Happy from Fairy Tale. Here is a Space Tech pendant. Where's my curvy lady? This is a piece that I'm probably most proud of. I don't think I'll ever sell this piece. After I made this piece, it was really the first time I considered myself an artist. Because this is some shit you'd see in a museum. I sculpted the back muscles, I sculpted the fucking, the dimples, it's all proportionate, like, they're in movement. Yeah, like this is some shit you'd see it made out of marble, but I did it. Isn't that cool? Yeah, definitely, Ace. For sure. Just say, hey, it's Ace from the live who scooped the honey pieces, and you can shoot me your address and all that good stuff. Thank you. Yeah, that is one of my most proud pieces. Obviously, the different sculpture stuff is more contemporary. There's a big old hair. Any of the sculptural stuff is more contemporary than pipes, of course. So it makes me feel a little bit more artistic whenever I do stuff like that. What are we working on right now? We're going to be working on, sorry friend, I forgot your name. Lunny. I was gonna say Lenny, but I was like, that's not right. We're gonna be working on Lunny's piece. It is a fab bottle with a 90-degree joint external. Glass locks pendant, so yeah. Like a lock and key combo. If we're thinking the same thoughts, yes I can. Awesome, great idea.
They don't need to pierce the housing to connect the switch. The switch slides a magnet over the outside of the housing.
Jojo, you're from New Mexico? I was born in Albuquerque.
It communicates through the housing to sensors inside. Next, they
all right, we got enough oxygen. I'm gonna turn this off. Much quieter, much nicer.
Then the lithium-ion rechargeable
I can hear
battery.
myself think.
They plug its connector into the circuit board.
Gonna start
This
the
cover
kiln.
holds the internal parts in correct alignment. A silicone O-ring forms a water.
They, them for me, Adelmo, if you would, please. But yes, I can make literally anything.
Over the 9 LEDs, which are attached to a round.
You're from Albuquerque
circuit
too?
board.
Fuck yeah, that's awesome.
The circuit board is metal.
I moved
so
out
that
there when I was
it
one,
can keep the
unfortunately.
LED
Didn't
lights
stick
generate.
around for long, came down here to Dallas immediately.
The screw-on aluminum bezel makes
Jojo,
contact with the circuit board.
yeah. Breaking
Transferring
Bad.
the heat out of the housing.
Breaking Bad did an amazing job depicting Albuquerque. It's exactly as they depict it. Just spot on. If you watch Breaking Bad, you've been to Albuquerque.
Full charge.
505 gang, yes sir, exactly. You know it. You know it.
They submerge the dive light in a pressurized tank. This simulates the pressure.
Going to the
light
fucking
would be
square,
subjected
the
to
mall.
at an underwater
That's
depth
where you
of
go
about
if you want to get in a
300
fight.
feet.
Still, is it
That's
still
over
sketchy?
twice the
Is the
diving
square
depth
still
of a
sketchy?
typical recreational dive.
Where the mall is? It hasn't gotten any better.
If the light doesn't
Hell yeah,
shine
Sky, I'm
right,
excited for
it
you.
passes the test.
Right, yeah, Insta is the
They
same as my
fully
name here,
recharge the battery
with an extra underscore on either side, but there's live auctions going on there right now as we speak, where you can get a piece for yourself, as well as look at a bunch of all the other stuff that I make.
green to orange.
Oh, I
to
didn't let the
red,
dogs back in.
then to flashing red. So scuba divers are never in the dark about how much juice is left in their light.
Y'all know how I told you Marley was trying to manipulate me to pick her up through the window because she was getting too lazy to jump through the window anymore? She jumps through the window now because I got mad at her. Not mad at her, but I did my angry voice. I said, Marley, come on. But like louder and deeper than that, and she went, okay, and jumped through. I don't use my deep voice a lot. It's scary. It scares me. My real voice scares me. This isn't even my real voice right now. I talk in a lot higher voice. This is my real voice right now.
To this marriage,
I put a lot.
not today.
This is it right now. I put a lot more infliction to get it up because I sound like my father right now. I like it much higher pitched.
Race car
Also a lot more
simulators help
energy.
train race car
I've been
drivers
told.
off-
I've been told by a few partners that it's intimidating as well, which is very valid. I sound like everyone's angry father.
jolts, swerves. Whatever movement you'd feel if you were sitting in the driver's seat of a real race car.
It sounds fake, right? It's because you're used to hearing me like this, so high pitched, but when I actually go down and so my voice has a lot of bass in it. I can't whisper. So when I try to whisper, and I have to actually like make the. Do you hear it vibrate in the back of my throat? I can't whisper. Like that's as low as it goes. The vibrations in the back
To make
don't
sure the
allow
part
me
meets
to actually
specifications.
form the words without literally my entire throat
If a
vibrating.
part requires bending, it is done with a press.
Illegal.
One of the side brackets for the driver's seat. The simulator's main structure is made primarily
on top of the laundry
tube.
machine sounds like a good place to be.
They saw the lengths required. Then a computer-guided mill drills holes for the bolts that will later be used to attach the simulator's components. Once all the steel tubes are ready, a welder puts them in a jig
this is
to align
warming
them
up.
correctly for assembly.
We can start forming the neck and the body of that piece. Let's see, I'm gonna use...
The structure's tubular parts are welded together.
I'm gonna use...
Then the worker
this.
adds the simulator's sheet steel parts and sprays the structure with industrial-grade paint.
These two?
Now they mount an audio speaker and amplifier for the vibration
something
system.
like that. Obviously, this is not...
Motion controllers that
what
move
it'll
the
look
steering
like.
wheel and driver's seat are also added.
Yeah, I think this will work. We'll use these two.
They install the power distribution block. And
What up,
the
Fahim? Welcome.
subcontroller for each of the two actuators. They install the cables required for the simulator's components and plug them into a USB hub. Then they install the computer.
What up, Jojo?
and plug
Yeah,
it
we
into
try
the
to-
USB hub as well.
We try to procure the welcoming vibes, well, especially if y'all are going to learn things too. I know learning can be intimidating.
They bolt the bottom of the actuators to
Let
the
me
structure
take a rip real
and
quick.
plug them
Let
into
me,
the subcontrollers inside.
Get the mind right, the old noggin
Then
ready
they
for
mount
the
the
rest of the
driver's
stream. Also, we're waiting for this to
And
warm
bolt
up
the
a
top
bit.
of the actuators to the back.
Lexi, I don't know if you're in here, Lexi. Did you make it in here yet?
The worker
The
installs
blister
the
popped
seatbelt
while I
along
was
with the
working
spring
out.
mechanism that yanks the
I didn't pop it myself, but you're right. Shouldn't have popped it. It's already infected.
belt back when you hit the brakes. They close in the sides of the main structure with aluminum paddles.
I'll try to remember that. But with as many
Next,
people as
they
we have
assemble the
going through here, I
simulator's
usually
three
just
pedals.
refer to the first name on the people's
Gas,
profiles.
brakes, and clutch, and mount the clutch mechanism to it.
Okay, good. I gotta tell them. Tell them that I didn't do it on purpose.
pedal assembly
I was
is installed
literally
to the base
working
of the
out
steering
and I
frame.
squeezed the bar too hard and it popped.
They mount the dashboard to the top of the frame.
What's funny though is the one that didn't pop is in much better shape than the other
Audio
one. So
controls.
we have kind of a control test going on right now between the
They
two.
attach the steering frame
And so
to
far,
the main
not
structure.
popping it is definitely the way to go. Alright, let me grab my water bottle, let me get my mind right, and we will start blowing
Then
some
they assemble the
ass.
steering wheel.
Oh, I like that guy's tattoos.
Inside its base is a circuit board that controls the buttons on the wheel and gear shift. It's called the shift paddle. They mount the shift paddle to the base. Then flip it over to attach the wheel. Next, workers assemble the display frame. It holds the simulator's 3 monitors and 3 front speakers. Then they roll in the rest of the simulator and plug the monitors and speakers into the computer. Finally, the steering wheel is mounted to the dash. It snaps in and out, allowing the driver to easily switch between steering wheel models. The simulator is run through several days of test drives before it ships out. Amusement parks also purchase these simulators to offer visitors a race car driving experience. They can even link multiple simulators together to race against each other in virtual replicas of the world's most famous racetracks.
Oh God. This stuff always builds. My lungs get tighter and tighter. I don't think it's as bad as it is. And then it chokes me out.
Gas barbecues barbecues were invented in the 1960s by an Arkansas gas company. They redesigned a charcoal grill to run on bottled propane.
Just start making noises to yourself.
People were
make noises that like scary things
and
would
the
make.
gas barbecue became a hot commodity.
Just let out some of that weird energy, you know, that we need to let out every now and then. Just a fucking and then anybody in there will not want to be in there anymore.
Gas barbecues were to extremely high end. There's no fussing with charcoal briquettes. You just press the starter button and adjust the flame to the desired intensity.
Let me turn the AC on. You always start sweating when it's a good one.
Making a gas barbecue begins with a laser. It cuts holes for screws, knobs, and piping into a sheet of high-gauge steel. It will take approximately 50 steel sheets to make the entire gas barbecue.
With as bad as my lungs are, I shouldn't even be fucking smoking flower, but I don't get the option many times.
Computerized tools punch out various holes in the next steel sheet. It will be used to make the barbecue's cart.
Oh yeah, I'm great. Much better now,
that's for sure. Strategically placed for vents and other features. Once holes are punched, the team transfers the sheet to a press brake. They place it between the jaws repeatedly to make numerous bends.
Any cut fingers? Yeah.
The first set of bends create a ledge for the grill to sit on.
Where's the really good one?
Other
right
bends
here.
Transform the flat sheet into a 3-wall box that will serve as the back and sides of the barbecue
cart. Right there. It actually cut through the hairs on my finger and went straight down to the bone. So the hair that was there was cut, and it was actually kind of funny. But you see how deep it went straight through there. Yep. That was a really good one. It's more burns than cuts. Although I did get a good cut
to the front hood piece
here the other day.
Since we last saw it. A worker assembles two steel side panels to the hood. The side panels are made of
definitely Ace, yeah.
The rest of the
We're gonna get to Lonnie's piece first.
Support hinges and springs.
And we'll do yours in between the prep for that.
An employee presses a belt sander against the welded seams to clean them up. Then he sands the entire surface of the hood so that the seams disappear.
Oh yeah, I'm okay.
Gauge and secures it to
Smoker's
the hood from the inside. Down the line, another team member joins the rear part of the hood with the barbecue's firebox. He installs the gas manifold system, complete with valves that control the burners. He hooks up the gas line that will fuel the barbecue.
We're going to make a bong that has 2 levels to it.
He covers the manifold with a plate that has holes for the valves. He places infrared ceramic burners inside the firebox.
This is going to be the top portion of that. We make it the top and then the bottom separately.
Gas barbecue. Fastens all the cables together. Now he fires up the barbecue and inspects it for leaks or any other operational problems. Once the barbecue passes inspection, the employee mounts a glossy steel panel to the front. He attaches a knob to the end of the igniter. He installs stainless steel grates above the burners.
We're going to let gravity stretch this down into the neck.
He hinges the front hood to the back one. Once the hinges have been secured, he lowers the lid to confirm that it closes tightly over
I blew a little air into it to control how wide it is as it stretches.
The team transfers the barbecue to the cart. The cart has been equipped with doors and drawers. After they weld the firebox to the cart, this gas barbecue is on its way to a patio near you. 15 hours in the making, they will provide years of grilling pleasure. No need to slave over a hot stove in the kitchen. Just turn on the grill and enjoy the great outdoors.
Then this is going to be that top perk. Make sure gravity gets it in the shape we want. Right now I'm practicing not using the blow tube or the blow hose. Just good practice. Especially with just the preliminary stuff, the stuff that you make at the very beginning. The batteries in that are really already dead. Alright, now we use the blow tube or blow hose just to make sure everything's nice and even. A little bit more precise when you can keep it in the same spot when you're blowing air into it and trying to get it into shape. Soul Eater shirt in the back, yeah, we've got Excalibur right here as well.
Gin is a distilled alcoholic spirit. It's flavored primarily with juniper berries. In fact, the word gin is believed to come from Genever, the Dutch word for juniper. It's the base for many popular mixed drinks such as the martini, the Singapore sling, and of course, gin and tonic. This micro distillery.
Oh, I totally forgot to fix the zoom. My bad, y'all.
Using a slower distillation
Y'all
process.
gotta remind me next time.
They don't add any sweeteners, artificial flavoring, or coloring. At this distillery, everything is done by hand. Starting with the main ingredient, juniper berries. Then spices are added.
There we go.
Dried angelica plant roots. Coriander seeds. Lemon peel and cardamom. All these ingredients go into a 90-gallon copper still. A spirit distilled from fermented grain is already in the still. It's completely tasteless, but has an alcohol content.
Does it get hot? No, I've got
50%.
full ventilation and air conditioning. So it just depends on how hot it is outside, typically. If it's a hot day outside, then yeah, it stays pretty hot in here, but that's just because it's hot outside.
This gives the spirit this distinct gin flavor. To do this,
What up,
they
Brendan?
slowly heat the bottom of the still. In about an hour, the alcohol boils and begins to evaporate. They continue distilling for about 6 hours, constantly monitoring the temperature. If the temperature reaches 212 degrees, the water will also evaporate, ruining the batch. The alcohol steam rises up and out of
Alright,
the
we
still
got
through
most of this
steam
top
to a
part
chilled
done.
stainless steel tank.
We're gonna flatten out the base of it.
When the hot steam hits the coal,
That's the real voice at the end.
Gin.
I like doing stuff like that because I have a very large range in my voice because of how high pitch I normally keep it. So I like doing stuff like that where it's bass. Or the finish him. It's always fun. Catches people off guard.
They adjust the distillation speed as required to produce a target alcohol level of 76%.
If I remember to turn the AC on, right.
Only the middle of each batch, known as the heart of the distillation, is collected.
Yeah, Instagram has options that run live every single day. That's also where you hit me up for any questions or to get your appeased yourself.
Then peel and slice the parsnips, place them in a tank, then pump in the gin.
You can tell me how much you want to spend, and I can send you a few shots
After a couple of days,
some available
they pump it
pieces.
through filters on the way to a storage tank. Then they dilute the gin with water to lower the alcohol level to 43%. Before bottling, the distillery draws samples for quality control testing. They examine the color. The aroma,
Oh
and
wait, no,
of
this
course,
isn't the Maker's
taste.
Mark one. I was gonna say, I'm excited to see them do the
based on the freshness of the parsnips.
the wax dip, but this isn't that episode.
This micro distillery has no automated bottling line. They fill the bottles by hand, only 6 at a time.
Wow. Talk about fucking microbrew. Alright, so here is that top part. Next, we will add 2 tubes that come out each side like that. Each part of this tube will get one. It'll have a bottom part here that'll also have 2 tubes. The purpose of this piece is a dual perk,
plastic sleeve,
meaning it perks into the bottom, and then when it pops the water up, it creates suction here as well, and this chamber also percolates.
And uncork the bottle.
Percolation. Into the kiln for now. We're going to make the body of it next, just to make sure it's the right size compared to it.
The backing to expose the adhesive, then presses the label onto the bottle. This is a lemon dry gin, meaning it's made with the traditional ingredients and contains no added sweeteners or colorings. This distillation process is how gin was made before the age of large commercial distilleries.
Mytho. Now that I know you're practicing, you remember the one creator that tried like putting a curse on me or whatever? I have hair. I literally have hair I could do things with that things I could do with that I don't because I'm a good person. Because I'm not a piece of shit and don't do stuff like that. I literally have that person's hair. And yeah, you know what I could do with it.
Please out there fast.
And clothes. Yeah, like
happy hour just got higher at IHOP with a menu starting at $6.
The funny thing too is that whole thing completely backfired on them. They whatever that creator was apparently went through a bunch of shit after that happened, and people were like, "Oh no, do you think your spell backfired?" And I'm over here just like, "Yeah, because you fucking yes, because you cast it on me."
Productions are made of a synthetic resin, which is very tough. These models are scientifically accurate and can withstand repeated handling in classrooms or museums. This facility is dedicated to producing skeletal replicas.
I'm just happy I took back the
humans to prehistoric animals.
the vial
from real skeletons
that I made for them, because that vial was filled with stuff that also could have been very, very dangerous to use, and it wasn't blood.
The process starts with a real skull. This one is of a prehistoric saber-toothed cat. Using a wire cutter, a worker slices up blocks of clay, placing the pieces on the skull. He presses the clay evenly around the skull. He soaks a sponge and uses it to moisten and smooth the clay. He inserts a plastic tube that will come in handy later. Now, he saturates strips of fiberglass with a polyester resin and drapes them around the clay.
Which of these did I say I was going to use for the body? Body of Christ.
Left overnight, the fiberglass and resin pour into a rigid shell around the clay. He repeats this process
I hit the pop
to create a
blister.
second,
Yeah, the pop one is definitely
fiberglass
not.
shell.
Popping it is definitely not
With
the way to
skull
go.
and clay in the bottom half, he bolts the second shell on top.
Hey, would love to get you a piece. Would love to have you would love to have you set up with something. Let me know if you smoke flower or if you dab more or both.
After repeating this process on the other side,
and I can send you a couple examples of different pieces.
And examines the two-part silicone mold.
Also, there is a couple of auctions running right now on the Instagram that if you like those as well, you can just bid on
He places
those.
the two-part mold back into the fiberglass shell and straps it to a spinner.
Jay, yep.
He pours polyurethane resin into the mold.
I made the vial that it's in too.
The weight matches the original skull. The spinner spirals at a controlled speed, evenly distributing the resin throughout the mold. After the resin has solidified, he removes a replica skull from the mold. The specially formulated resin has the look and texture of bone.
It's gonna form a little homunculus after a while. If I leave it long enough.
Strips away the ragged bits. This part is the jaw. Using a special grinding tool, he cleans up the surface and does a bit of contour work. With a sharper tool, he better defines the area around the teeth.
No worries, Yeet. I appreciate you being here. Any amount of support is appreciated, even if it's not monetary.
This is the jaw before and after the improvements. Now it's over to the paint department.
Jay, yeah.
Walker airbrushes the skull using acrylic paint.
Yep, it was
He layers shades of brown, black, and
fluids
red
of another
to make
kind.
his replica look more authentic.
Man, you know how people say, yeah, I like manipulative people, or I'm into manipulators, like stuff? Those are people who have never actually been with manipulative people.
Drills little holes in both of them.
Because it's not hot and sexy when they try to ruin your life. It's not
Pushes
cute
nails
when they
into the
dox you to
holes
fucking
to secure the
skinheads.
teeth in the sockets.
It's not fun. It's not cute. It's
An
not
inspector now
yeah.
scrutinizes the skull and compares it
I
to
learned
the
that the
original
hard
one
way.
on the left.
You don't want to date manipulators.
Just like the real saber-toothed cat
No,
skull.
Jay. No. See, the thing is, too, I make custom
It's
vials.
difficult to tell the difference between the 12,000
I do
and
vials
the
and
new one.
stuff. Also, specimen jars. Since we're talking about this, too, I can make custom specimen
The
jars.
skull is now ready for the rest of the
It's pretty much the
skeleton
same thing as shot glasses, but with the... And y'all saw me make the little apothecary boy
It
yesterday.
takes 5 people 3
Yeah,
to build a skeletal
there's lots of stuff
like
we can
this
do
one.
along the lines of that. And it's got a little top to it too. Boop. That's actually, that would work for a fucking inkwell too. A little boop 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 for your pen. Yeah, like
There's still time for summer of fun.
yeah. I don't know why that's being romanticized. I guess I mean the same reason that people romanticize trauma in the first place. And then other people who don't realize that it's a trauma response are like, oh yeah, that is hot. And then everyone else is just like, no, it's a trauma response. It's not hot and sexy to get manipulated. Don't do it. You don't want a succubus. You don't. Oh god. Definitely, Jay. I'd love to collaborate. I'm always down to make different jars or fun little apothecary stations that have little compartments and whatnot. You know, I need to put more batteries in the controller. I just remembered. But yeah, that's what it is. It's people making jokes and making light of the trauma and the fact that they've been through it, and they're like, oh yeah, it's so hot the fact that I was manipulated. Ha ha ha. Daddy issues. And then people will go, oh yeah, it must be so hot. Just like people romanticize anything. Anything gets romanticized nowadays, especially on the internet. That started with Tumblr. That was horrible. Tumblr was the worst place in the world before TikTok ever was. I mean, of course, there's worse places in the world like Reddit and 5chan, 6chan, 8chan. Like, but yeah, the depths of the internet get worse the further you go. But yeah, I'm glad your mom's doing better, Lucinda. Adam ruins everything. Oh, definitely. Yeah, we watch educational shows constantly. So How It's Made. We watch Drunk History. Adam Ruins Everything is also a great show. We'll watch at some point. But yeah, it's funny seeing how much things get romanticized online, especially like mental illness and like That's another place. That's another reason TikTok is so bad, because people find an echo chamber of the worst possible coping mechanisms, and a lot of the time the coping mechanisms they choose is just commiserate. It's just commiseration and commiseration over trauma, because a lot of people end up going, oh, that sounded a lot like my trauma. We're so alike, and then they're friends. Trauma bonds are not what you want. You don't want to bond over trauma with people, because a lot of people have not healed from that trauma. And then they yank you down there with them. And then they go, oh, wow, you're so much better off than I am. Let me use some of your light so I can be better too. And then they use you up, and then, yeah. Don't do it. When and how does the color get added to it? It comes from the factory already, those colors. Depending on what color we're working with, also, of course. Silver fume is a thing. Silver can be used to ionize and attach to the surface of the glass, which makes color changing glass. Let me grab batteries so we can keep this going real quick. Exactly, yeah, and you don't realize that it happens half the time until it's too late, and you're like, wait, you just manipulated the fuck out of me. Yep. Yep, it happens. It's okay. Yeah. See, for me, I don't have a fawn response. I have a try to explain it response, to where I'll just keep talking, trying to explain everything that's going on in the situation from every perspective possible, just so I have everything covered. So I have a over-process response, not necessarily a shutdown response. Dad? Son? What up, Blub? Good jokes. They, them pronouns for me, though I appreciate it. Daddy works, though. Y'all can still call me Daddy. Wow. Cult father? See, and stuff like that, also to expound on the whole they, them thing. I am non-binary, but I think I'm also like gender fluid at times too. They kind of coincide with each other. I'm more masculine some days and more feminine some days. So if sometimes people want to call me dad or like masculine things, like it's okay. Again, the really times I will only ever take offense to it is if it's intentionally like intended that way, like intended to be offensive. And that doesn't happen often. Dad? I appreciate you, Blood.
Of the mint.
Glass Father.
Creaminess of the chocolate.
The Glass Father.
It is
Oh,
one of
we have another shirt.
candy history.
We have another shirt. Hang on, pause it. We have another shirt to add to the list. The Glass Father, like the Godfather in that font. Yep. There's another. We're back. My bad. It's Friday night. Everyone's home using the internet right now. Yeah, it was me. My bad. While y'all were gone, though, I found something cool. When I point like that and do this with my fingers, you can see the vein that goes all the way from this finger all the way up my arm. And I think that's pretty neat. I'll get it closer. I know y'all like seeing it too. The vein that goes up this finger. Look, that vein that's right there. That's a vein. You know how y'all know how I tell you I have literal demon hands? But you can trace it all the way back from this, where it joins with this one. This is actually probably constricting it more than anything, but up this, all the way up. This one is bigger on this side. This one actually has the bicep vein too, but yes, we're getting vascular. I love it. Demon hand content. It's only gonna get more veiny too, and that's what's wild. Is like my arms are already wild vascular, so we're gonna keep doing that. I never like used to think that was cool, but like now I very much
With
do.
a chocolate mint, the decision is easy because the two flavors are wrapped into one. To make chocolate,
Yeah,
mousse,
reload.
they pump liquid
For
sugar into a heated
free.
mixer and add granular sugar. The mixer blends it.
Yeah,
into
sorry.
syrup.
Everyone's home
And
right now
some
using the
strainers.
Wi-Fi. There's a limited
Then
bandwidth.
it's moved into a vacuum-sealed cooker. It sucks out moisture, and the syrup thickens to a jelly-like consistency. A worker transfers it to a second mixer and adds the mint flavoring. Thorough mixing.
I've also been
thickens it
taking
and lighten-
more iron lately, so I got more blood pumping through me. I'm just kidding. I know that's not how it works. Ooh, look at that.
Powerful
Yeah,
mechanical
yeah,
arms massage the slab to
Ooh.
cool and harden the
Let
candy.
me jump on it.
Next, a hopper funnels the candy into pressurized rollers that squeeze it into a long
So,
sheet.
Sky, actually, that's a great question, and I'll answer it with a visual aid. I actually use my long thumbnails while I blow glass. If you see how I have it laid on that thumbnail right there, while I spin it, it spins at a much nicer, even rate. Whereas if I had it on my thumb, it sticks. And you see how it kind of bounces just a little bit? So that's thumb. You can actually see the vein that goes up my thumb while I do it too. That's fucking wild. Yeah, you see it better with it off. But that's why the fucking veins do that, is because, look at that. That's wild. All the way up my finger too. Sorry, I get distracted. But yeah, I lay it on my thumb. And I roll it like that. And it's much smoother. Also for rolling blunts. Also, I hate, absolutely despise the feeling of nail clippers. Not only because of trauma, but also because of overstimulation. I will, if you come at me with nail clippers, I will fight you like you had a knife. Like, I will go into fight or flight response. I have not clipped my nails in years. I don't clip them. I fucking use one nail to catch an edge and then peel it off. I will not get close to nail clippers. That's I'll freak out.
The sheet rides an inclining conveyor. Once it reaches the top, an employee
I appreciate
wraps
you,
the
babe.
end around a long steel tube. The tube revolves and twists them in.
Oh yeah, Mytho, definitely. Really the only thing I need to know is just like a rundown of pretty much how the groups work. If you want to find a good video for me, that might even be easier. Just like a, hey, here's how a basic Discord works. Oh, you're gonna be a mod here very soon, eventually. We're still growing very quickly. And you and Skylar and obviously the OG cult members are all first in line, but we're gonna slowly add people over. And yeah, I'll let you know when that happens, but on Discord as well.
And passes by rollers that squeeze the diameter down to a rope size.
Yeah, no, the nail clipper thing is trauma
The compactor
by
then
itself,
matches
as
the
well as
candy
daddy
rope
issues,
to give
as
the
well
filling a
as
honeycomb texture.
physical trauma. There's all kinds of stuff wrapped in why I don't
Rollers
like
now
nail
stretch a second
clippers.
slab of mint candy until
Look
it
at that.
thickens
Dude,
and
that's my
turns a
back.
lighter color.
Fucking, pop it. Nice.
The worker cuts
Good.
it
What are they
into
making?
chunks
I don't
and
even
fit
know what
into
they're
the
making.
next rolling machine. It presses the candy into a sheet.
For sure, Lunny.
which then
We have
runs
that.
on
We're
top
working
of
on
the
that
chocolate.
literally right now. We still gotta wait for the kiln to warm up a little bit. Also, I needed to
The
cut
two
another piece of
layers now
silver.
enter the next forming machine. This one wraps the outer layer around the chocolate-infused one.
But yes, I will send
Chocolate-filled
pictures
mix
first
too.
thing in the morning for you, or first thing when the kiln cools down. So the kiln Has to cool
Rollers
down
reduce the
throughout the day
diameter
as
to
well.
half an inch in
It'll take
size.
usually a few hours during the day to cool down.
Next, the chocolate mint rope enters a die cutter.
Chocolate mint rope.
It
Oh,
shapes and
mints.
cuts the
They're
rope
making
into
mints.
mints. The mints spill into a
I really
spreader,
want to get
which
that
distributes
hand
them
grip
evenly
strength
across the
tester
perforated
because I can
conveyor.
just crimp through the solid silver
Fans
super
blow air
easy
through the
now.
holes in the conveyor to cool and solidify the candies.
Which I did not used to be able to do as easy.
Once the candies have hardened, they head to the wrapping station. Here, they ride a rotating circular platform and fall into candy-sized slots.
Oh, it's going great, Blub. Bro, I also don't much
Glossy
like.
metallized film
I
wrap
appreciate the
unwinds.
familiarity, but
Mechanical arms collect the
they
chocolate
them
mints as they fall into the slots.
euphemisms as well,
They
if
hold
you
the
don't mind.
candies for wrapping while devices twist the ends.
Some people
It
are
takes
cool
only a
with
fraction
bro
of a
and
second to
dude,
wrap a candy.
but also when you phrase it in the
Then it's on to a
sense
weigh
of,
station.
well, do you fuck your bros and your dudes? Then it stops being so gender neutral.
They fall into bags, ready for retail.
I mean, some of you might. Don't get me wrong.
Approximately 2,400 chocolate mints are made.
I actually have not
This
checked
factory.
how much they are. I have no idea how much
flavors in one
they
candy.
cost in the first place.
It's quite a treat.
I just know they have them. No worries, bub. My day was great though. I stay up all night, so my day has only really just begun. We still have at least 2 hours or about an hour with the stream. Also, I think I mentioned it very quickly earlier, but we are at 1.2 thousand subs here now.
Overstock has the
Which is fucking awesome.
everything you need to transform your outdoor space.
Also, we're gonna do the cult member, the giveaway for cult members
Is called. With free shipping
a little bit later. I do have to,
Where quality costs less.
Cookie wants to win a gold medal in wrestling.
And Cookie Serratos and
just kidding, it actually logged me out of TikTok.
And the Serranos know it's all about squeezing out her best and making every moment count. Squeeze out their best with Go-Go Squeeze, made from 100% fruit and no sugar added in a squeezable pouch. Because when you
One sec, let me see if I can pull the list up.
Squeeze out their best with Go-Go Squeeze.
During the medieval era, axes were more than tools. They were terrifying weapons that could inflict very deep wounds. Today, craftsmen still make battle axes for use in the
Okay, yeah,
entertainment
I can
industry.
pull up the subscription lists. Wow, we have 42 subs now, y'all. On TikTok.
The medieval battle axe was a brutal weapon. With a single blow, it could break through a knight's armor and fatally wound him. To produce an authentic
Yeah, dude
replica for
is
movies
very
and TV
neutral to
shows,
most places.
the
Dude is neutral to me.
blacksmith consults
If anybody
reference
calls
books.
me dude, it's fine like that. I've actually had people call me dude purposely though to misgender me, and at that point it's like now you're just being a fucking asshole. But yeah, I'm a dude, she's a dude, you're a dude as well, all dudes. Fucking Good Burger taught us well.
Metals.
Bye Cole, until next time,
In
friend.
total, there will be 75 metal strips of varying composition. To complete the mix of metals, he cuts an old blade made of nickel
Yeah,
steel
Sky.
alloy
Yeah, I get
into
that. My
equally sized
I have to tell
strips.
my mom similar. My mom always fucking
Runs 37
pulls on my
strips
hair and
into a
plays with
vise.
my hair and touches my tattoos and wants to do this and that. And I straight up was like,
He
look,
tightens the vise,
I
and tack
appreciate
welds
that
them
you want to
together.
express your affection somehow or some
He
way.
sands the welded
But what
stack.
you're doing makes me feel like I
rolls
have a
oil
million
into the
bugs on
stack
me,
to prevent
and I need you to
oxidation.
not do it. And she
Now,
respected
exposed
those
to intense
boundaries.
heat, the metal layers forge together.
Yeah, we're watching how it's made.
He spreads a mix of borax and other minerals called flux onto the surface. This deters oxidation as the forging continues with a pneumatic hammer.
One sec, I gotta
Hammer
restart
slams the layers
the
together to become a
app
solid
on my
laminated
computer.
block.
to get chat back.
It's ready to be
It froze for whatever
transformed into
reason.
the axe's cutting head. Repeated strikes pinch the metal in the center.
Yeah, it does.
He sprinkles the flux mixture onto the surface of the metal form.
I feel like they're wasting so much of that flux. Why not put it? Why not do that over a fucking bucket to where you can catch it again?
After a reheat, he inserts a layer of carbon steel in the center for the blade. He hammers the C-shape flat, leaving the pinch section round for the handle.
Bruh, yeah, I've actually gotten really good at not using any gender terms, really. But then again, I don't talk to a whole lot of people except for y'all. Y'all is gender neutral, y'all means all, so that's what I use for literally everyone.
He drives a steel stake called a tapered drift into the center of the knob. This forms an opening for inserting the wood handle. Using the power hammer, he now flattens the blade of the axe head substantially. He flares it to form a cutting edge and removes the excess with a plasma cutter.
We need to mount up that piece of silver so we can silver fume
the
piece we're
result
working
is
on.
fierce. The axe head has taken shape, but it needs some refining.
Axe head. Okay, I was wondering what they were making.
He hammers the handle area to spread it wider, and dips the axe head in water to cool it down and hones the edge. Next, he grinds spiral grooves into a piece of oak for the axe's handle.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about, Mytho. The one with the little like,
to accentuate
the one with the arms on it,
and enhance the grain of the wood.
Also, sorry, like I said, everyone is home right now using their internet, so we keep freezing. We have been doing so good on YouTube. We hadn't lost signal the past like 3 days.
Finally, he hammers upholstery studs onto the handle to simulate the rivets that reinforce the original medieval axe handles. Carefully, no one will get hurt.
Okay, there it goes. Went back on its own that time. Yeah, lots of people home using the internet right now. Not at my home, that is, just everyone around.
The sauna is a centuries-old Finnish tradition.
Less bandwidth
99% of Finns
in the
sit
area.
in the sauna at least once a week. Most homes,
No,
apartment
nails
buildings,
are
and
made
even
with
offices have
quartz
one.
glass or quartz.
Don't live in Finland,
Which
but
is
want to
different than
enjoy
glass.
the benefits of a home sauna? No sweat.
Made at much higher
This outdoor
temperatures,
sauna is made of premium Canadian red cedar,
or worked with at much higher
which is
temperatures.
aromatic and resistant to mold. First,
What up, Lewis?
they measure the wood with a hydrometer to ensure the humidity level is below 12%. If the wood is too moist, it will shrink after assembly, leaving gaps between the planks. Once they've determined that the wood is stable, they put the planks through a molder. The machine's 7 different tool beds smooth the top and bottom surfaces. The machine also carves tongue and groove edges that will tightly lock one plank to the next. The assemblers build the barrel-shaped sauna in sections. For the bottom, they start with a central plank that has a tongue on both sides.
What are they making? Say a sauna?
The tongues and grooves fit together to render the joints watertight. The assemblers continue adding planks until there are 8 on each side of the central
My best
wall.
friend Plank.
They construct the sauna's back wall using the same technique. Once they've joined together the required number of planks, they lay down a circular template and secure it with clamps.
Snack that smiles back. Goldfish.
Then they cut around the template with a router.
Well, your dog would like goldfish even more then.
To further secure the planks to each other, they drill angled holes through adjacent ones and drive in screws. They also screw in 3 horizontal reinforcement planks. Using a pattern as a guide, they cut out a window with the router. They screw window moldings around the opening. They apply an adhesive-backed rubber insulation strip along the perimeter. This will prevent heat and water from leaking out between the walls of the sauna.
Yeah.
They mount the front and back walls onto the bottom section. They add planks to both sides of the bottom section to gradually build up the curved side walls. The side walls meet at the top, on either side of a central plank that's pre-wired with the sauna's LED ceiling lights.
Oh yeah! Wow. I actually did not mean to spray this so heavy with silver fume, but it looks so cool. You driving home, Mytho? You drive safe.
And pull them to a specific tension. These cables further bind the planks to each other.
I did not mean to spray it with that much silver fume, but that piece of silver is brand new on there, so we got
They begin
stars on stars on stars on this fucking clear piece.
Thermometer and hydrometer.
Which is usually really hard to get stars like that on.
Next, they mount a pivoting cover over the fresh air vent holes. This allows users to block outside air or allow it in. Then they add an hourglass that counts down 15 minutes, the recommended time to spend in a sauna. Next comes the electric stove. It contains volcanic rocks that absorb and store the heat. You have the option of pouring water onto the hot rocks to create steam.
I've never been in a sauna.
After installing benches and a water-absorbent rubber floor, they hang the door. The glass in both the door and rear window is tinted.
I feel like I would panic.
The sauna reaches a temperature of 185 degrees. The barrel shape of the sauna optimizes the circulation of the heat and steam.
Yeah, I feel like I would panic.
This is a word that's more than a word.
Oh yeah.
It's our word.
Nice.
Like when you book an Airbnb up here, or one down there.
In many parts of the world, rice is the main grain. In fact, it is a food staple for nearly half
How do you make the gap
planet's
smaller?
population. Native to Asia, it has been grown and consumed for thousands of years. But today, machines
Hang
do
on.
much of the harvesting
Wait
and
for me to stop
processing
talking.
in order to feed the enormous demand.
I'll use my mini torch and put a little bit of extra glass
These
in and then
perfectly
melt it
formed
in
kernels of
specifically.
rice are essentially a crop that has been allowed to go to seed. After about 150 days of growth, the rice seed is ready for harvest. Machinery strips it from the stalks and also suctions out some of the empty
The
husks.
kiln's about warm enough to do that as well. We'll do that here in a sec.
Trucks transport the rice to storage facilities.
How does silver
They
do that?
empty
It
into a cold opening
ionizes.
at the receiving pit.
So as it
The
heats
pipes
up,
filter
it
out some of the
gases.
larger stalks and debris.
It offs silver ions as a gas, and you can blast that gas
From the pit, a
onto
chain
the
can
surface of
move
glass.
the rice up to storage silos.
Pardon all the
in
fingerprints that are
warehouses.
now on this, but
Inside the storage
this is silver fume
facilities,
here.
fans blow air through the mountain of rice to lower the moisture content substantially. With the rice sufficiently dried, it's on to the processing plant. Here, a probe vacuums up samples from both the front and the back of the
Yeah,
massive
permanent glass
buffalo.
screen, exactly. That's how all my bowls
The
are.
probe delivers the samples to a lab. A technician first tests the moisture content to confirm that it's on target.
But except sometimes when you
Transfers
blow it out,
gases to a sifting
the
vat
holes
to
get
screen
bigger
for
and
bugs.
sometimes they get smaller. This one's a
He switches
3-hole.
on a heat lamp to wake them up. He shakes the rice and scrutinizes. He also examines one moving faster than the other. This shears off the husks. The rice and empty husks then cascade into another machine. This is a demo
Sorry,
version
bad
of the
signal
actual
tonight.
production one.
If that happens in the
Suction
future, keeps
pulls out
happening,
the
I'm gonna
husk
end up
to
paying
separate
for
it from
better
the heavier
Wi-Fi.
rice. The dehusking process misses a few kernels, so next, giant sifting machines screen out that rice. Still in husks.
Did you, Jay? Yeah, don't worry. Mine come with them already in there.
They dehusk that rice and mix it with the rest. Grinding machines now mill the rice to remove the bran. The bran spills out of perforations and is recovered for use in cattle feed. With the bran removed, the rice goes from brown to white. The final grinding polishes the rice to give it a pearly sheen.
Okay, cool. Yeah, the kettle is warming
the
up now, so I'll show you
rice.
exactly what I
And
mean.
here it is with the bran removed.
Oh, hi, Marley. Would you like to say hello?
During milling, some rice kernels are
Come over here.
damaged. The spinning
Come up.
dimpled cylinder
Up.
now separates the broken kernels from the whole ones.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I pull
The
too hard?
broken rice kernels
Did you know
fall
like
into the
that?
dimples of the
You gotta say
cylinder,
hi to the people.
and from
Come here.
there into an internal catch
Put your
pan.
hand right here.
They'll be used to make
Here.
cereal or beer.
Put your hand right here.
The whole rice now
Come here.
moves through a color sorter.
Come here.
Computerized cameras.
Come on, I don't want to
analyze
pull you. I know you don't like it
directions
when I pull
and
you, so
signal
just come a
air
little
nozzles
further.
to blast them out
Come
of the
here.
mix.
Come on.
Of course, there's also a
Look,
market
you
for
put your hands
unmilled
right
brown
here, remember?
rice.
Yeah.
Now ready for packaging.
Yeah,
A
there you
scraper
go.
moves
Now
it
they can
across
see
the
you.
tube and into plastic tubes below.
Come on, a little further
Hot
this way.
gels seal the tubes at both ends, and this
She's being
rice
shy.
is in the bag. Brown or white, short or medium grade. There are plenty of options.
I know, they both have such big personalities. Marley is very, very shy and a lot like me, and Lucy's just kind of all over the place and a lot like me. Ew, ew, ew. Did you see the nail clippers? Ew, ah! I hate it. That looks like a good movie though. I'd watch it just for that.
Decades ago, people had to get out of
Decades
the
ago.
car when
See, I could do
arriving
too.
home in order to open the garage door.
Oh, we already watched a couple of these. I think we were talking
Today,
through most of them
it's
though.
routine to open and close your
I don't
garage
really
door at the
remember
push
them.
of a button, either on a wall-mounted pad or on a remote control.
Oh, I need a silver fume, the other
A
piece.
garage door opener's motor drives either a belt, a chain, or a screw rod like these models. In turn, they move a carriage connected to the garage door. At this factory, the production line starts and ends at the same place. They take one completed garage door opener off the line, then start a new one by attaching a power cord to the unit's steel chassis. Then they place the chassis onto a traveling assembly fixture and plug in the power cord to prep the unit for testing later. They place the unit's plastic housing next to the chassis. Then snap in the plastic safety cover. This goes over the direct
It's
current
sprayed so much
the
silver
equivalent
onto the
of
outside of
1.25
this one as well.
horsepower. They attach an optical encoder to the motor. The encoder is a sensor which reads the door's position so that the motor knows when to stop moving the carriage. They place the motor against the safety cover, then screw it in place. In the housing, they install the motion sensor. It turns on the opener's light as soon as you walk into the garage, or when the garage door opens. Next are the switches for programming the remote control and for setting the travel limits. These are the points to which
Boba, everything is sold direct, but through Instagram mostly. The Insta is the same as my name here, except with an extra underscore on either side.
Receiver to the outside. They plug in the motion sensor cable, then wire and plug in the connector for the light bulbs, and fasten the board in place with screws. They attach the electrical ground wire to the chassis, connect the power cable, and then the optical encoder to the circuit board. With all the internal components installed now, they affix the housing to the chassis. This completes the brain of the garage door opener called the operator unit. An automated testing machine now checks all the functions. simulate.
Alright, like I
the
said,
load
this
of the
piece is
garage
going to
door.
have 2
It
uptakes.
also checks the light bulb sockets and the connection ports on the circuit board for the safety beams. The beams stop and reverse the closing door if they detect any object in its path. Once the operator unit passes inspection, it comes full circle to the end, which is also the start of the production line. A plastic lens to enclose the light bulbs, and the unit comes off the line. The carriage rail is milled from galvanized steel. It has slots for locking in plastic liners, which hold the screw rod.
There we go.
To produce the screw rod, the factory machines a solid bar of steel to the required dimensions and profile. Then, with high-pressure rollers, it forms threads in it. Workers insert the screw rod into the liners in the rail. For the retail market, rather than produce one long rail and screw rod, the factory makes 3 shorter.
Sky, just make sure you
sections
say,
that
hey,
fit
it's
a smaller
Sky.
package.
Hey,
This machine
call me for
lubricates
Sky.
the screw rod with grease.
I need as
It
many
helps it rotate
associative
smoothly
things
in
as
the rail
possible.
liner.
I don't
The
have a
motor's
very good
motor is running.
transient
When the
memory.
screw rod turns, teeth on the base of the carriage interlock with the threads, moving the carriage along the rail. Workers first install
Yeah,
the
that color is
carriage
turning out
base
really,
at the
really
factory.
nice.
Then they pack all the garage door opener components for shipping, starting with the rail sections.
I'm gonna go grab some coffee real quick. That's what's
And
missing.
the operator unit.
Definitely need some coffee. Oh, I need
Last
to
to
make
go
coffee.
in
Give me
are
a
the
few.
wall-mounted control pad, the remote controls, and the safety beams, which you install on each side of the garage door opening. When you install the garage door opener, you insert the screw rod into the motor's drive shaft. Then you assemble the rest of the carriage, connecting it to an arm which attaches to the garage door. Motor runs, screw rod turns, carriage moves, and your garage door opens or closes.
Going back in style doesn't have to break the bank. With great prices on trending denim and school day essentials, you get the best and nothing less. Plus, earn Kohl's cash. More style, more savings. Only at Kohl's.
Winnie and Jane are always sharing tips on ways to save money.
CVS Care Pass, it's my savings secret.
CarePass members get 20% off CVS Health Brain products, free same-day RX delivery, plus a $10 promo. Thanks for sharing. Join CarePass today and get your first month free.
Grappa is an Italian brandy, traditionally an after-dinner drink. It's made from pomace, what's left of grapes after they've been pressed to make wine. Distilleries ferment the pomace to convert the sugars into alcohol, then distill it to transform the alcohol and other compounds into grappa. Traditional grappa is colorless. It can also be aged in wooden barrels to produce different varieties with a specific color, taste, and aroma. You can't make grappa without someone first making wine, because wine-making leftovers are the sole ingredient. In Italy, the wine harvest begins in late summer or early fall, depending on the weather and region of the country. The harvested grapes go directly from the vineyard to the winery. There, the first machine pulls them off the stalks, which are later composted into fertilizer for farms and nurseries. The
One
de-stalked
sec, I'll be
grapes
right back.
enter a cylindrical press. They're crushed against the walls with an airbag-like device to extract the juice and pulp for making wine. What's left behind in the press, once the juice and pulp drain out, are the skins, seeds, some residual juice, and pulp. This is called pomace. The winery sells it to distilleries that produce grappa. This small artisanal distillery produces premium quality grappa by using only pomace from grapes pressed that very same day. The pomace goes into temperature-controlled fermentation tanks as soon as it arrives. Large industrial distilleries operate differently, typically warehousing pomace prior to processing, sometimes for months. This delay produces high levels of potentially toxic methanol. which the distillery then has to remove. using
Sorry, y'all,
additional
one sec.
procedure.
I thought I smelled something burning, and my nose is very sensitive, so I'm going through every room in the house making sure I don't smell anything. So I definitely did there for a sec. Give me 1 sec. Everything's okay. I just want to double check.
The distillers monitor pH and alcohol levels to determine when the conversion of sugars to alcohol is complete. The process takes from 3 days to a week, depending on the variety of grape and other factors, such as the outdoor temperature. When the pomace is ready, they transfer it to wood-clad copper stills. They heat the stills with steam, bringing the pomace to the boiling point, which transforms the alcohol and other compounds into steam. This alcohol steam inside the still rises to the top and exits through a side hole. It travels through copper pipes and other equipment, ultimately to a condensation system which cools the steam back to liquid. This liquid is grappa. As it exits distillation, the master distiller meticulously monitors the temperature and alcohol level. She discards the initial and final flows.
I got one whiff of a smell of burning plastic, and that's not the smell you wanna smell. Because burning plastic usually means wiring, and that's kind of what it smelled like at first, but I've gone through every room and I don't smell it anymore. I did just turn the coffee pot on. It might have been the coffee pot. Who knows? Let me walk through one more time.
Ensuring only the perfectly pure mid-flow, referred to as the heart of the grappa. Its alcohol level at this point is 70 to 77%. Certain varieties now go to the cellar, into small wooden barrels to age. Over time, both the grappa and the wooden barrels exchange compounds, which influence taste, aroma, and color. For example, a barrel made of cherry wood will produce different characteristics than one made of oak. The distillery's experts analyze and taste samples following distillation and throughout the aging period. Depending on the variety, this can range from just 1 year to more than 20 years. Whether the grappa is aged or not, prior to bottling, they filter and dilute it with demineralized water.
Alright, yeah, that's fine. Just wanted to double check, because that's not a smell you want to smell.
77% after distillation to the target level of 41 to 50%.
Burning plastic and propane are two things you don't want to smell in this house. Maybe, yeah, let me check the coffee
They
pot.
seal the bottles with stoppers made of food-safe synthetic materials rather than traditional corks. Natural cork contains certain organic compounds which can alter the flavor, aroma, and color of the grappa. They seal the stopper with shrink-wrap plastic. An unbroken seal assures the buyer that the bottle has not been previously opened. Then the bottles pass through a labeling station. The grappa is ready to be
Who knows?
poured as an after-dinner drink
It's gone.
or enjoyed on its own. As the Italians say, salute.
Salud.
Another night of violence.
I'm the only one that can
And
help.
the best is the move, alright? It's great, alright?
The first stock cars were souped-up family sedans, but today they're custom built for the racetrack. Each car body must match the contours of templates set by NASCAR, the National Association
Oh,
of
we already
Stock
watched
Car
this,
Auto
didn't
Racing.
we? Do y'all want to watch it again? We can leave it if y'all want to watch this one, if y'all weren't here last night.
On the racetrack, the shape of a car can give it an aerodynamic edge over the competition. So in NASCAR races, car bodies must have uniform curves. The regulations put the focus on driver skill and make the race a fair one. They mold some of the car's body parts from a carbon fiber and Kevlar material.
Cool, yeah, we can leave it then.
First, a technician applies a release agent to a mold for the car's front end. Then he sprays a paint undercoat into it. This undercoat will eventually transfer to the completed panel. A computerized cutter slices the carbon fiber and Kevlar fabric into strips. It produces 22 pieces, each one cut to fit a different section of the mold. The technician rolls epoxy resin onto the fabric, one strip at a time. Once the strip has been completely coated, he transfers it to the mold. He tucks the fabric into the contours and smooths out any big wrinkles. He layers the strips 3 deep in a crisscross configuration for structural integrity. A coworker covers the carbon fiber with perforated plastic.
Alright, got the first hole popped.
They add layers of absorbent polyester and thick plastic, which they glue to the edge of the mold. They insert a fitting and connect a vacuum, which sucks out air and excess epoxy resin. The polyester material soaks up the resin as it flows through the holes in the first plastic layer. This both smooths and compacts the carbon fiber layers. Then it's into a hot oven to bake for 3 hours. This activates the epoxy and combines the layers of carbon fiber and Kevlar fabric. An employee removes the completed stock car panel and inspects it. Then it's over to a weigh station. At just under 8 pounds, the part is lightweight yet virtually shatterproof. Meanwhile, at another factory, work begins on the stock car chassis. They build it from square steel tubing that's super strong. An employee welds the pieces together to create a support structure for the car. At the next station, a worker forces narrow steel tubing against a spiral bit to carve notches in it. This tubing is for the roll cage, the structure that protects the driver if there's an accident. The notches will help form better joints. He grinds the rough edges, creating a smooth surface to weld the tube to the rest of the roll cage. Once complete, the team transfers the roll cage to the main
I
frame
need to
of the
polish
chassis.
the blow tube in here because this is really sharp at the bottom.
They tack weld it before doing the final welds. The next part is called the rear clip. It holds the fuel tank and has mounts for the rear suspension. With the car framework now complete, a technician scans it using a digital measuring probe. The scan confirms that the dimensions are correct. They now assemble the various steel and carbon fiber body parts to the stock car framework. They measure the completed car body by laying template grids on it. The biggest one sits over the center of the car. They pull a gauge through the gaps between the templates and the car body. The gap cannot exceed the tolerances set by NASCAR. They often must tweak the shape of the body part to meet regulations. Once the car has been painted, they apply headlight decals where the real ones usually are. Real headlights would add too much weight and pose a safety risk if they shattered. It's taken 3 weeks of intensive work, but this stock car body is now ready for the mechanics. Things are about to pick up speed.
Good jokes.
This August at Choctaw Casino and Resort Durant, we're celebrating 35 years of winning. And our gift to you is a chance to win $2 million during our 35th anniversary giveaway. Consider this your invitation to the party, where you'll have a shot at a share of the first million August.
What's a 4th of July celebration without fireworks?
Oh, I remember this
Colors
episode. I
exploding
want to watch
in
it
the
again
air.
though, good.
The oohs and ahs they enlisted on the ground. Fireworks are so high-tech these days, it's easy to forget they're not a modern invention. Historians believe gunpowder, the explosive ingredient in fireworks, was invented in China around 1000 AD. It's said that in a famous battle, the Chinese emperor illuminated the sky with it, scaring away the enemy. During the Renaissance, The Europeans invented the type of fireworks we know today. Modern pyrotechnicians use computers to ignite fireworks from a safe distance and to synchronize their bursts with music. Assembling explosives into fireworks is the job of the pyrotechnician. Even the tiniest spark of static electricity could set them off, so anti-static gloves are a must. A firework is made up of separate compartments within a shell. The burning fuse explodes one compartment at a time, creating those staggered bursts in the sky. The pyrotechnician first glues the main fuse into the bottom of the shell. The glue is naturally colorless. It's dyed blue so he can tell exactly where he's applying it. He puts the bottom aside to work on the second compartment of this two-compartment firework. He starts by spooning a powdered explosive into the center. Then he caps it. Here he's working on two fireworks at a time. Next step, a brown cardboard shock absorber to shield this compartment from the first compartment explosion. Then a corrugated cardboard disc and a plastic spacer. It'll take the fuse 1.5 seconds to burn through these two components, creating a slight delay between the first explosion and the second. Gluing the second compartment together is tricky. If it's too tight, it'll stifle the explosion, but it has to be tight enough to withstand the delay. With the second compartment done, it's time to prepare the first. He glues a sleeve onto a case, then fills it with hundreds of stars. Stars are what create the flashes of color. They're carefully measured explosives mixed with coloring agents, such as magnesium for white, copper salts for blue, and charcoal for orange. The pyrotechnician must handle them gingerly, or they could detonate. Next, he adds comets, another type of exploding decoration. He tops it off with gunpowder. Finally, he glues the two compartments together, filling the remaining space with the same combination of ingredients. Once the shell is full, he glues on the cover, and the tighter, the better. The more pressure that builds up, the bigger and more spectacular the explosion. Next, he
didn't we figure out that they don't actually set off any of the fireworks at the end of this episode?
International color codes to indicate the size of the shell. The lift charge, a gunpowder bag with a long, fast-action fuse, goes at the base of the shell. That's what'll send the firework into the sky. When they light the main fuse at the top, it simultaneously lights two secondary fuses. The time delay fuse inside the shell, running through the compartments of explosives, and that long fuse running along
I appreciate
the
you,
outside,
Jade.
down to the lift charge at the base.
We'll get your bowl done here in a sec. I'm in the zone on this piece. Oh, hi, Marley.
Once the lift charge ignites, heat and gas build up inside the launch tube until they explode, propelling the firework close to 1,000 feet skyward. Let the light show begin.
A new hypoallergenic formula. Now even delicate skin can feel nourished.
we fight the battles no one hears about. We're the ones who go before all others. Join the fight.
Get in the zone. Auto zone.
One way to enhance eyelashes is to coat them with mascara. Early mascaras were made of petroleum
Wait, Jay,
jelly
hang on.
and coal.
If you're still here, we can do that right
Or
now for you.
soap cake
So you don't have to
with
try to
white
go back
dye.
and find it.
Today's liquid mascara comes in a tube with an applicator brush built right into the cap. Mascara formulations vary. The basic ingredients are wax,
Alright,
water,
so like I said,
pigment,
we're going
and
to use our
binders.
hand torch. I might
Additional
add
ingredients produce features such as
just a
water
tiny little bit of
resistance.
glass to the inside, and then I'll use the hand torch to move it to where it should be.
Every formulation is comprised of an oil-soluble phase and a water-soluble phase. To prepare this mascara's oil phase, a technician combines 4 types of wax. Carnauba from a Brazilian palm tree.
Carnauba wax.
Candelia from a plant that grows in parts of Mexico and Texas. Beeswax and glycerol stearate, an emulsifier which helps ingredients blend well. Next comes vitamin E, which conditions lashes and gives the mascara a smooth texture. After that is a chemical compound called Palomol D2000, which makes the mascara water resistant. The technician heats this oil phase of the formulation. Once the waxes begin melting, blends the ingredients. Wax is a thickener. This calculated combination of 4 different
Oh, that's why y'all were saying
produces
get in
a
the
thin
zone.
liquid gel
Auto
that coats
zone.
lashes with a shiny film.
I thought there was a commercial or something.
The technician now prepares the water-soluble phase of the formulation separately. First, heating up cold water. Then adding an emulsifier. This will bind the water and oil
I made you a
phases
smiley
when they're
face,
combined
Jay.
later on.
I'll show
Without
you here
an
in a sec.
emulsifier, oil and water solubles would naturally separate. The next ingredient is a cosmetic-grade iron oxide pigment. The color is black because she's making black mascara. She blends the mixture until the color is uniform. Then she adds TEA. This organic compound balances the mascara's pH level.
I've actually
so
never
that
done
it
this
isn't
before.
too acidic or alkaline. Next, she adds a cosmetic powder to make the mascara silky, and a chemical to provide additional water
come on.
resistance. Finally, she completes the formulation by adding the oil phase to this water phase.
I don't know, you
Keeping
can't
the
tell,
mixture while blending
but
prevents
it's a
the
smiley
waxes
face.
from solidifying.
There it is. Okay, you see 2 eyes at the top and then the mouth at the
Before
bottom.
packaging, the factory
It's a
staff
smiley face
runs
bowl.
Quality control tests. Using a viscometer to measure
So it's a
thickness,
3-hole bowl now,
he
but
makes
we
sure
made
the
the,
mascara isn't runny or gooey.
We made 2 holes smaller, and then the mouth hole,
He also
where the
tests
smile
the
is
pH
a little bit bigger. So it'll still give you
If the
a
sample
little bit
meets
different air pull
specifications,
throughout the whole
the
thing.
lab gives the go-ahead to package
Yeah,
the
I'm
mascara.
excited that turned out like that.
And
At
the
first
worker
I messed
pours
up
the
a little
bags
bit
into
because
a
I was
filling
only wanting
machine.
to make the 2 holes bigger, but then I accidentally put a third
The
one.
machine continuously mixes the mascara and keeps it hot.
Welcome
that it
back,
remains
Mytho.
liquid. Otherwise, the mascara would begin to cool and gelify.
Oh yeah, I got fired.
and
That's
clog
not
the
good.
filling nozzle.
You made it home quick? What up,
A
John?
mascara bottle typically contains about 2 ounces of mascara. As
No
it
worries,
cools
Sky.
in the
It's
bottle,
literally
it transforms
nobody
into a semi-liquid gel.
says anything really until the morning. We don't
She
hang
seals
out in
the
there
bottle
after
by
stream or
pressing in a
anything. We may
plunger-style
send like
plastic
a
stopper.
message or 2, but it's not very busy in there as of right now.
The stopper has a hole in the middle for inserting the brush out.
I'll send you a better picture of it when it's cool tomorrow, Jay. That smiley face is fun. I'm excited to see how that works for you.
The lip of the stopper hole is designed to wipe off excess mascara as you pull the brush out of the bottle. This helps prevent the mascara from clumping.
Yeah, it'll still be there. Let me go turn the coffee off. I don't like hot coffee.
This manufacturer fills small orders manually, like this one for a private label brand. Its automated production line is reserved for large orders. Regardless of quantity, clients specify the characteristics they want in their brand of mascara, such as lengthening or water resistance. And the manufacturer tailors the formulation accordingly. The first fireplaces were strictly functional, for heating the home, cooking meals, and warming water for bathing. Over time, fireplaces
we already
appeared
saw
in
this
other
one. We'll go to a more interesting one. No offense to fireplaces. Oh, there's the maker's mark where they dip it in the wax. That's okay, we don't have to watch it. Pheasant breeding? What? Selective bird breeding? How late is it here? 2 o'clock in the morning.
Most sought after game birds in
We'll
North
hang out
America.
another hour.
But populations in the wild have dwindled. To replenish them and also supply a market for pheasant meat, farmers raise breeding stock and incubate their
We're still working
eggs.
on the piece that we were before, then we're gonna get to
Likely
your
they'll yield chicks.
that bowl for your piece. Or at
With
least
stunning
another hour.
plumage And an ability to
Oh, look at that little guy! Look at that little guy!
Pheasant struts around. Each pheasant lays approximately 4 eggs weekly.
Just out in the open?
Through to July.
Just out in the open like
Farm
that?
workers collect the eggs daily before the pheasants have an opportunity to nest. With their intervention, the hatch rate will get a big boost. It will go from 40% to at least 75%.
Are they boiling the eggs?
The farmer washes the eggs
Just
in water
kidding.
and special soap to remove dirt and bacteria that could infiltrate the shells and harm the growing chicks.
Really?
She inspects the eggs and rejects any cracked or very large ones.
Or
that would
very
contain a
large
double
ones?
yolk. Eggs with cracks or double yolks won't hatch.
Oh, double yolks.
One last dip, and she
I
sets
haven't been
the
able
eggs
to find
aside
where my
to
chickens have
dry.
been laying eggs lately. I think they're off cycle
She taps
as
eggs
of right
together
now, but
systematically and listens.
I genuinely can't
If
tell
the tap
where
sounds
they
like fine
are.
china clinking together, they're suitable for hatching.
That's
But if
sketchy
the
though.
tap sounds dull, there's likely a crack. By listening, she finds one
Yeah,
or
no
two
shit.
cracked eggs she missed with a visual inspection. She places the eggs in an incubator rack and transfers it to a cooling room. The pheasant eggs chill here for a few days.
That coffee's gonna be hot for so
Cooling
long,
slows down
goddammit.
cell division.
Why don't you go
until the
take
farmer is
a rip
ready
real
to
quick?
put the eggs in the incubator. Chick production is timed for 2 hatches weekly.
Dun, dun, dun,
When the time is
dun.
right, she transfers the eggs to the incubator. The incubator is at toasty 100 degrees Fahrenheit to mimic the warmth of a hen's body. She latches the racks onto an automated system that gently rocks the long cradles back and forth to turn the pheasant eggs. Turning the eggs routinely is something that nesting hens do naturally, and it's important. Without it, the developing embryo could stick to the shell, causing abnormal growth. The farmer monitors the incubator temperature and humidity several times daily. 3 weeks
Hey,
later,
so you have to,
she removes the
subscribe
rack and places it on
to
a
the
tray
TikTok.
lined with cheesecloth.
Discord is for cult member only.
She opens each cradle, and the eggs spill softly onto the tray. At this point, there are tiny pits on the shells.
Soon
caused by
enough.
the chicks' beaks as they attempt to break through. Once on the tray,
Soon
she
enough,
arranges them close
being
together
a
in
member
figure-8 configuration.
here on YouTube will
This
also
way,
qualify.
the chicks can feel each other moving, cueing them to break out of their shells. She pumps water onto the tiers of the hatcher now. hatcher is warmer than the incubator. She covers the trays with screens to keep the chicks from jumping onto other trays. As the water heats up, the humidity increases. This causes the shells to weaken, making it easier for the pheasant chicks to break out of their shells. After a couple of days, the eggs have hatched. After drying off, the chicks are fluffy and lively. The farmer packs them in ventilated cardboard boxes. Freshly hatched, they'll survive 60 hours without food, giving the breeder enough time to ship them anywhere in the world. That's why pheasants are easier to ship when they're chicks. Some customers prefer more mature birds, so the farmer raises some chicks in wireframes for a week until their legs become stronger.
That's part of the reason why Marley doesn't ever want to hop in through the windows, because Lucy attacks her whenever she hops through. Oh, I want to see him hatch.
After
What? Wait, what was that fucking noise, Lucy? Jesus.
She covers the trays with screens to keep
A
the chicks from
Patreon?
jumping
What's the
onto other
difference
trays.
between that and
As
anything
the water
else?
heats up, the
With like
humidity
memberships and
increases.
stuff.
This causes
I've got
the
an
shells
OF,
to weaken,
if that's what you
making
mean.
it easier for the pheasant chicks to break out of their shells. After a couple of days, the eggs have hatched.
And we do donations direct
After
as well.
drying off,
Eventually we'll
the
be able to
chicks are
do
fluffy and lively.
we'll be able to do donations through here as well. Look at them, they're like, what the fuck?
Farmer packs them in ventilated cardboard boxes. Freshly hatched, they'll survive 60 hours without food, giving the breeder enough time to ship them anywhere in the world. That's why pheasants are easier to ship when they're chicks.
Interesting.
Some customers prefer
Oh, for
more
sure,
mature
Ace, yeah.
birds,
We're gonna keep
so
it
the
try.
farmer
We're gonna try to
raises
keep it
some
very
chicks in
simple. We're gonna try to keep it
wireframes for a
small.
week until their legs
So
become
really just
stronger.
this and
Then they move those chicks
TikTok.
to other heated buildings until they're ready to thrive outdoors.
I don't want to make all the supporters chase
Some will
around.
be kept as breeding stock. Others will be sold as food.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
The
what
rest
the
will
what?
be introduced into the wild and just fly away.
Why did those have things on their face?
Some will be kept as breeding stock. Others will be sold as food.
So they don't peck each other? They've got little blinders on.
The rest will be introduced into the wild and just fly away.
What the fuck? Aren't they little? Yeah, I mean, obviously I want to have as many sources of revenue as possible for me, but we did start on Twitch and got monetized on there fairly quickly, but I was not a fan of how it's set up and how little traffic it gets. So I already made everybody chase me from there to here, so we're gonna try and keep it just here and TikTok, and eventually not even TikTok, because I fucking hate that place. TikTok is literally the most toxic place ever since high school. Oh, for sure, Mytho. I'm sorry if you're dealing with that fucking fire.
Fitness regimen.
Let us know if
One
it
way to
gets
build
closer any
strength is to
closer.
lift weights or exercise on machines that provide
What up, love?
resistance when users pull, push, or lift.
Ace, yeah. TikTok is an amazing place for exposure, an amazing place for very fast swiping and for people to see your shit, and it's fire, it's big, people get drawn in easily. We're getting 200 subscribers a day from TikTok, so we're gonna keep doing it. Unfortunately, we have to take advantage of whatever means necessary that we can to grow the channel as quickly as possible. But the reason we're doing it as quickly as possible is to get away from there as quickly as possible, because I do not like it there. We've talked about how that place capitalizes on the worst parts of humanity often. It's a rumor mill that makes people money the worse the rumors are.
It's produced at resistance, but some machines use a completely different system.
It's high school,
This
but you get
exercise
paid
machine
for it.
doesn't have the typical
You get paid for it the
stack of
worse
weights.
you are. If like the
Instead,
shittier you
the
were in the high
handles are
school,
connected by
the
a
better
rubber
likelihood you get a
system
chance,
to a
likely
pneumatic
better
cylinder
hood,
which
the better
creates
likelihood
resistance.
you have of being
This
successful on that app.
computer-guided laser cuts many of the parts out of sheet steel. It can make complex cuts which are accurate within 100
Hell yeah, blow.
microns.
Send them my way. This is the
Human
first
hairs.
stop on the glass blowing train.
The parts go into a vibrating tumbler filled with ceramic stones.
Hot coffee
and water.
is good. Hot coffee is
The
very
stones
good,
go
but
against the
I am a
parts,
fan
removing what's called
of
scale, a flaky substance produced on the
iced
surface
coffee
of the
better.
steel by the heat of the laser.
Sounds like your
and
job. Yeah,
oxygen in
lots
the
of
air.
lots of drama.
A worker clamps the parts for the trainer's power module onto a welding fixture.
I love how that works, Sky. Yeah.
The fixture is on a robotic cell.
However you found your way here, I'm happy to have
The
you,
cell
and however
rotates,
long it took you
delivering the
to
parts
figure
to the
out this is the
robot,
place to be.
which proceeds to weld them together.
Better late than never, right? Let me run to the bathroom real quick.
Welding the power module takes 14 minutes. When the robot completes the welding, the cell returns the fixture to the worker, who inspects the module thoroughly, then transfers it to the finishing area. A worker grinds the welds flat. Then, with a finer grinding disc, smooths them out so that they won't show once the steel is painted. After washing the module in iron phosphate, a worker applies a positive electrical charge to the module and a negative one to the powder paint. Opposite charges attract, drawing the paint particles onto the surface in an even coat. Then the worker bakes the paint onto the steel in an oven.
But yeah, we don't want to be on
Elsewhere in
TikTok
the
for
factory,
any
another
longer than we need
worker
to be.
drills a 12-inch deep hole
Unfortunately,
into a
it's the
cylinder
best
rod.
place for exposure
The rod is steel,
as of right now.
the piston on its end aluminum. He inserts the cylinder rod into the cylinder.
But whenever we get
also
monetized on here, I'll have
then
much more
carefully
incentive to not be
inserts a
there.
sensor rod into the cylinder rod's hole. The sensor relays the cylinder's position to the machine's computer.
Good, Mytho. Yeah, keep us updated.
Snap rings hold the parts together.
The smallest? I've made like little tiny minis. Also, this one is pretty
After
small.
a paint job inspection, the trainer is ready for assembly. First comes the decals. The assembler wets the surface with soapy water, then applies them. Once the decals are partially dry, he gingerly removes the transfer tape and inspects for bubbles or gaps. Next, he installs the machine's computer. It calculates the power produced with each pull on the handles.
I think this is the one that
what's
I wanted
called
to
the
use. I could have
accumulator
sworn I
tank,
had one more
which stores
somewhere.
the air for the return stroke of the handles.
There's that one there, but I could have
He
sworn I had one
installs the
more.
cylinder. The bottom is assembled to a central pulley that connects to both handles. The top connects to the accumulator tank with an air hose.
The
The amount of
accumulator
force is
tank.
determined by how much air pressure the user lets in.
Hey, see, yeah, that one is
Pushing the
awesome. That
resistance
one will
control
function really,
buttons.
really nice.
The
With how
buttons are
small it
attached
is.
to
Gotta
air
be
hoses
careful with that
and
bowl
wired to the
though.
computer.
You gotta lean it all the way back or it'll set your hair on fire.
The assembler routes a 26-foot-long rope through the central pulley.
Oh, yeah,
to the
Sky.
machine's 12 additional pulleys.
That's why we don't want to be on
Configuration
TikTok,
is designed
because
to
that
enable
place
a wide
thrives
range of
on
exercises.
drama and
After closing up the power
negativity.
module with a cover panel and installing the two height adjustable
Like, no matter how
arms,
positive we try
the
to be on
assembler
there, there's
installs
always
a
trolls no
swivel
matter
pulley
what.
on each arm and ties what's called a clevis to the end of each rope. The
Which there
clevis
always
holds
will
a
be. We
wide
can't
range
expect
of
there to
other
not be,
attachments.
but the amount
Once
and the
assembly
like
is
the
complete,
way that app is
an
set up.
inspector checks for any aesthetic or
I want one of those so
defects.
bad. I
The
can't
sensor
work
resistance level
any of these
then
muscles.
pulls on the
Can't
handles
work
to make
any of
sure the
these
cellular
muscles
sensor is reading correctly.
without having the
Pulling
fucking.
the handle pushes the rod into the cylinder, forcing the piston against
I need a
the
pull-up
incoming
rod.
air pressure
I
supplied
need
by
one
a
of those
compressor.
machines or something.
Because this power trainer uses
yeah, I
air
can't
rather than weights to
Do
produce
anything.
resistance,
Yeah, I want that.
users
I need
can
one of
work
those.
out at faster speeds, which produces higher power.
Yeah. 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 Actually, honestly, just one of the benches that have the rack weights where you can sit down and do different things. That's what I want.
Cancer from smoking.
The oldest shoe.
Yeah, trolls make me money, but I'd rather not make that money. I'd rather make less money and not have to deal with trolls than
Today,
you know.
we don't have to go hunt an animal. to
Which I
raise
guess
our
we could
shoes.
just not be on
We can
TikTok
buy our
for it, but
shoelaces ready-made in a variety of
You got,
materials,
we'll not be there
styles,
eventually.
and colors.
Training to fight on Dragon Ball Z.
This company produces shoelaces and shoelace type.
Didn't Dragon Ball Super, the new one, just drop on Hulu or Netflix or somewhere?
Rayon and acrylic. This run is producing polyester shoelaces. A worker installs cones of fine polyester thread on what's called a creel.
Luckily, we haven't had any trolls in here, actually, on the YouTube. But that will change eventually. Whenever that does change is probably when we will add moderators. Because as late as it is now, Jax doesn't stay up this late, so we'll need at least one more, obviously. Mytho, you've been here every single day, every time, so you're next up.
She programs the machine to wind a specific length of it.
Lucinda, you as well, obviously. You end up sleeping though. You're next after Mytho because you're here second longest.
For this particular shoelace, the machine is programmed to wind 8,200 feet of thick thread per bobbin.
No worries, Ace. We do this every single night, so whatever nights you can join us, we'd love to have you.
20 of those bobbins on a braiding machine. For each one, she passes the end of the thread through 3 eyelets.
They called it back up. Does that mean it started back?
Regulates the tension of the thread. She gathers half the threads and ties knots in them so that they'll catch when she feeds them into the machine. She starts up the braiding machine. It draws.
Yeah, Mytho, you've been here every single time. Yeah.
Pull in the unknotted ones.
So, like I said, as soon as we end up having trolls in here,
continuous round
we'll know it's time to add another mod for this. We'll add another mod, I think tomorrow either way for TikTok. So we'll get you up in there.
The finished core.
Honestly, TikTok doesn't really even matter though. Like my whole thing with TikTok is I don't want y'all to have to go, like be looking at the fucking chat and go and when it is slow enough, I can get it myself half the time. When it's slow enough, if people are spamming chat, I look over enough and I can see shit where I'm like, oh, that person's spamming chat. Spamming is really the only thing I care about. Like I don't care how horrible of a troll they are. Y'all don't pay attention to the trolls, and I feel like if you were a moderator or putting anybody else as a moderator, you'd feel the need to go after trolls even more so. So as of right now, we'll leave the TikTok as it is. Again, it is a hate factory, and we will farm it as such. Farming fucking materials through the dark realm.
Needles can perform 2 types of knitting stitches to
because of the wind.
Once the knitted or braided cord is ready, a worker adjusts 4 metal pegs of a winding.
Yeah, Lucinda, you should be asleep.
Length they're making.
I'm just kidding.
Then she winds the cord around the pegs, up to 250 times, depending on the cord diameter.
No, lace code gets brought up constantly.
She cuts the end.
Ow.
And ties the cord.
I privated the video that has 6 million views on it because I was tired of dealing with people contradicting it and you know what's wild is I have a video about the difference between dreadlocks and locks and how white locks aren't dreadlocks, and that dynamic of video, which involves racism, a power dynamic, and literally 2 races and a topic that is very, very, very touchy for a lot of people, including myself, who had locks. That video got me less hate than the lace code video did. The lace code video got me doxxed, got my life threatened multiple times, got people showing up to my house, got more rumors started about me. It's because of the skinheads. It's because these fucking little internet punks care about addiction and talking about it more than minorities literally trying just to stay safe. And every time a lace code video gets brought up, it becomes that creator's most popular video too, even if they're saying that it's dead. And so I'm just done with it. I'm not going to bring it back up anymore on TikTok. It's whether or not it's dead in your area or not. Other people use it, so it's not dead in some places, and it's fine if it is in yours, but you can't say that it is for everyone. Yeah, it's a lot. It's very nuanced, but what's very funny is the people who disagreed with me on that were far more violent, far more violent than people when we were talking literally about a race topic, literally about the difference between types of hair and the difference between black hair and white hair and dreadlocks and locks and cultural stuff. That was far more of a cordial discussion and debate than fucking shoelaces. And that says a lot about those people too, who start those debates and the fights about lace code and the stuff like that. They really are just violent people who want to seek out violence, and they project it onto me and say I'm the one who's seeking out the violence. And it's just like, nah, dude. The whole lace code thing is white and red laces used to mean neo-Nazis, or that you spilled the blood of a minority, and skinheads tried to reclaim it. Skinheads also said that it was never existed. They said we never let the boneheads have those things. But me now, as a minority, I have not only neo-Nazis sending me pictures and videos of them wearing white and red laces in their boots, but I also have the skinheads who are supposedly good people, who are supposedly the ones who beat up the neo-Nazis, also sending me those pictures and videos of them saying, look at my boots, now I'm wearing white and red laces, what are you going to do about it? And me, I'm like, I can't tell the difference between either of you now. So if I see white laces, I'm still gonna assume that you don't have good intentions. Whether or not you are a fucking skinhead or a neo-Nazi. Especially after I've been the target of people that disagree with it and do it on purpose now. I can't tell the difference anymore. And we've talked about plausible deniability and intentional obscurity. Me personally, I'm using it even more now. If I ever see someone approaching me with red or white laces, I know for a fact that they don't want anything good to do with me, regardless of if they're a fucking actual Nazi or just a skinhead. So, for me, the lace code is even more so now.
And die. Then, using hydraulic power, the press brake makes precise bends to shape the steel into a section of the paver hopper.
Yeah, Mytho, you be safe.
With the first bend done, one of the workers measures the angle with the digital level to confirm that it's exactly right.
Yeah, and Mytho, it's wild how that discussion about the very nuanced differences between white and black culture and hairstyles was far less violent than the discussion was about shoelaces. And it really it blew my mind seeing the difference between those two. Like, even the people who disagreed with me weren't threatening me, weren't making up rumors and weren't doing things. They were just like, I disagree and here's why, which is how it should be. But the fucking skinheads are out there literally pissing themselves because they think they're going to be called Nazis, even though now they're indistinguishable from them because they're both wearing the same shoelaces. Yeah, very specific shoes. It's regional. It's only on work style boots. It means different things in different regions. But again, for me, anybody with red or white laces who approach me, regardless of not if they're actually a fascist, I'm gonna assume they don't want good things to do with me because of the lace code video, or because obviously they're wearing that intentionally. And for me, a minority, I'm not gonna wait around and ask. I'm not gonna wait around and figure it out and say, well, which are you? Are you the one who wants to help me, or are you the one who wants to kill me? I'd rather not wait and find out.
Assemble the hopper to the front of the paving machine. Hinge tubes on the hopper part.
And that's what they don't understand too.
Center conveyor framework.
Is that it's not about fashion. It's not about their right to wear whatever they want. It's about the fact that minorities should feel safe over your want to be fashionable, you know?
The screed is a critical apparatus. Its system of vibrating extenders both levels and compacts the asphalt once it's deposited on the road.
Yeah, exactly. And we've talked about plausible deniability and intentional obscurity, and every time a skinhead or someone else says that it's dead, it helps neo-Nazis because they still use it. I have literal neo-Nazis messaging me those pictures and saying, yeah, fuck you, if I ever see you, I hope it is on site with my red and white laces. And then the skinheads say the same thing, and it's just like, this is the problem. And I want to make another video. I'm not going to. I very much want to make another video, but I know it'll just cause more problems and saying, well, look, I've got both of y'all sending me these pictures now, and I'll put the pictures side by side and say which is which. You tell me. And that would get the point across, but I don't think they're willing to listen to reason. They just don't like me, and that's always going to be a thing. They'll look for any reason not to.
The French Basque Country is culturally quite distinct from the rest of France. Located in the southwest bordering Spain, the region is known, among other things, for its ham, which is salted.
That's true. We actually haven't tested all the different things we can say regarding that topic on here.
Generations of Basque farmers. There are several types of traditional Basque ham.
Yeah, and that's all it is. It's logic too. If it's dead for your area, that's completely fine. But if other people use it, that means it's not dead completely. And saying it's dead entirely is disingenuous and actually puts people in danger because of, again, the fascists who hide in plausible deniability and obscurity. Now, if there's a crowd of skinheads wearing white and red laces, and there's one who's an actual fascist in there, I won't be able to pick them out because of their shoelaces. Obviously, there's different ways that you can tell. There'll be patches on their clothes. There'll be obviously the fucking things that they're saying. But if there's just a group of the group of them standing there, I want every possible way for me to determine which one is the one that wants to not have me alive anymore. And if shoelaces help, then fucking goddamn it, I'm gonna look at their shoelaces too. Like. And that's the thing that they don't understand is the ones who say it doesn't exist or the ones who say it's not in practice anymore are privileged to not have to use fucking shoelaces to make sure they're in a safe place. Stuff like that.
Marbled with fat.
It's all the same people saying it's dead. It's all the same people saying that they wear white and red laces. They all look exactly the same, if you see what I'm saying.
A specific breed of pig, the Basque Country piebald.
Good, Mytho. Hopefully that wind dies down.
This pig breed is native to the Basque region, where livestock
Look
are
at them
raised on
pigs.
small farms in the valleys of the Pyrenees Mountains.
I want to ride one. Look at them little babies.
Unlike commercially farmed animals, the female pigs have small litters of 6 to 9 piglets.
Ah, look at little puppos.
Which grow up roaming and grazing along the vast mountainsides on an average of 2 acres of land per 30 piglets. As a result of this free-range rearing,
those are healthy pigs.
Pigs grow more slowly and become heavier than commercially farmed pigs.
Look at that guy.
Once the animals reach a weight of about 30 pounds, which usually takes a year to 15 months, they go to the slaughterhouse.
That was a disappointing transition.
Stamped with an identification number. Traditional ham is made from the hind legs. After tacking,
I don't really care anymore after that transition. I'd rather not watch that episode anymore. That made me sad. I was very happy to see them being happy big pigs. And you know, that's the reality. That's what animals are for. You know, it's not what they're for. You don't have to do that, but
a bistro set
we
is
can also accept the
popular in
fact that
homes
it's
with
sad as
limited
shit to
outdoor
witness
space,
it firsthand.
as there's usually enough room for one on a balcony or small patio.
If I had to harvest my own animals, I wouldn't be able to. Like if I had to kill the chickens outside, if I was like if I was growing them or raising them for meat, I wouldn't be able to do it. I eat their eggs. That's very different to me. I would have dairy cows. I would like stuff like that is very different to me. I would not be able to raise a cow from a baby and all the way to adulthood. It would have a name. It would be a part of the family. Like, nah, sorry.
Originated in 19th century France, its iconic dining sets are still being produced.
Yeah, what kind of fucking transition was that?
Styles.
Look at how fat and happy it is in the mud pit, and then it literally transitioned to just a stack of the legs hanging. That was
the first step.
That was a lot.
With pressure applying rollers.
That was.
The steel then.
How about a little trigger warning, Science Channel?
Simultaneously. It cuts pieces to the required length, rounds their ends, and punches out holes where required. These are parts for the table legs.
And see, I guess it would be different if I did have to raise animals for food.
Steel rod into a circle to form a ring.
If it was like the end of the world and we were in like sustain yourself times, you know. At that point, I could
This
probably
table is
like disengage with it and
allowing
make
it to
sure
fold
that like
flat
I
for
don't
storage.
form bonds with it.
Therefore,
But
2 of the legs are hinged. A pin and notch lock them in the open position.
for sure, Matthew, appreciate you being here.
After putting together the folding legs, a worker positions all the parts.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
based on the
Southern
assembly fixture.
California is just like
Then
Texas.
he operates a welding robot.
SoCal
which
is
welds
the
all
South to me.
crossbars, reinforcing the legs. And the
I know a
legs
lot
to
of
the
people don't
ring.
consider like the
It
Southwest
only takes about 2 minutes.
the
to
South,
weld
but
all these
anything on the
parts
border I
into a
consider the
folding
South.
table base. The manufacturers make the tabletop from a square piece of sheet steel. This machine first shears off the corners, transforming the square into a circle.
Nice. Nice.
Then it
That was a
drills the
good.
edge
That was.
upward to
Oh,
form a
yeah.
half-inch high rim
Yeah,
on what
yeah,
will
yeah.
eventually be the underside of the tabletop. It also cuts a hole in the center for an umbrella pole and draws that edge as well.
What is it? A picnic table? Yeah.
A worker mates the tabletop to the folding base. He inserts the ring to the tabletop's underside.
We
rim.
start on TikTok and then
he
we swap
opens
to
the
here.
base
We
and
start
uses spreading
usually
pliers to pull apart,
at
then
11.
up the ends of the ring.
11 p.m. Central on TikTok.
Next, he
But
seals
usually
the
midnight
underside of
for
the table
YouTube,
with a scrap
midnight
piece of
Central.
metal and welds the butted ends.
You get a Southern accent? That's awesome. Yeah, mine gets deeper and deeper the more drunk I get.
The table
The
is
slower
now
you talk, the
fully
more it
constructed.
sounds Southern, and the slower you go, and the more drunk you get,
The chair
deeper and
parts are cut on the
Southerner
same
it
press
gets.
as the table legs. Each chair has 2 long legs and 2 shorter legs. This machine simultaneously folds and twists the 2 shorter ones and folds the 2 longer ones.
Because it really is just
Then connects
slowed
them
down
with the
and all
crossbar.
drawn together.
The next operator places these connected short legs in another machine. He adds washers to
Alright,
the
let's
protruding
connect
ends
these
of
two
the
pieces.
crossbar. Then the 2 long chair legs, connecting them lower down with the crossbar. The machine welds that crossbar and forms each end of the other crossbar into a rivet.
Say crossbar
which
one more time.
creates the folding point for this collapsible chair frame. The next operator places the frame on another machine, positioning 3 holes on each
Said it like 8
side
times
of
in
the
a row and
upright
then didn't
steel
say it
pins.
again.
He lays 2 steel slats for the chair back on these pins. Then 5 more for the seat onto identical pins riveted to a pair of steel bars. The machine then forms the pins into rivets, attaching all the slats. He then assembles the seat to the frame, completing the construction of the chair. The tables and chairs go onto the paint line. The first station washes and dries the furniture. Next, a worker opens each one to spray paint the articulation points. Then, automated nozzles paint the rest. This is industrial-grade powder paint known as powder coat. A 10-minute trip through a tunnel oven at 370 degrees Fahrenheit bakes it on. Workers apply product information stickers,
There we go.
cushion protruding parts with plastic covers, and enclose foot protectors. The bistro set is now ready. Just unfold and unwind. When it comes to iconic hats, nothing says French more than the beret, specifically the Basque-style beret, as people wear different styles in other countries. The Basque beret was traditionally worn by shepherds, tending their flocks along the Pyrenees mountain range that divides southern France from Spain. The Basque beret dates back to the 1600s in southern France. Made of black merino wool, it has a little cabinet on top. The factory making these berets has been doing so since 1840. An automated machine knits undyed wool yarn into a galette, the French word for pancake. the galette is flat and round, with loose knit stitches making it soft and floppy. A worker then pulls the galette's central thread, closing it into a circular shape resembling a shower cap. In an industrial-sized washing machine, a worker washes this rudimentary beret in lukewarm water from the local river and soap for about 8 hours. The type of soap is a trade secret. The wool shrinks, causing the loose knit stitches to tighten. The wool fibers also soften, transforming into the smooth and soft woolen fabric we call felt. After felting the beret, the manufacturers begin the dyeing process. The worker loads it into another washing machine, only this time with powdered dye. This factory has always produced its own dyes in a wide range of colors, again using water from the local river. However, the temperature to which this company heats it is a closely guarded secret. When the dye cycle finishes, another worker checks the beret against a color sample. Because the wool composition and the river water quality are variable factors that can affect dye absorption. The next step is to form the beret to the final shape. Traditionally, beret factories did this using wooden forms, but today they use metal ones. The beret remains on the form long enough to lock into shape. This process too depends on the wool composition, as well as on how humid it is in the factory on that particular day. Each beret goes for a spin on the scratching machine.
On the
rotating
scratching
wheel surfaced
machine.
with wire brushes. The bristles lift the wood fibers, thickening the felt. After inserting a cardboard template to maintain the shape, a worker uses a manual shearing tool to carefully scratch the area around the cabillaud.
The cabillaud?
She removes any clean plant debris left by the river water used in the wash and dye cycles. Then she inspects for any holes or stretched fibers.
So it's not even really a hat, it's just decorative. It
The
doesn't
beret
even cover
now
any of your
goes to
hair.
the
It
seamstress.
just goes on top.
First, she heats a black cotton lining on a mold
Do you have to put
shape it to fit perfectly
bobby pins
inside the
with
beret.
it?
The lining has the manufacturer's label in the center, which features the company crest.
Thank you, Ace. Yeah, that one is the one that, Ludden?
Confirming that this is indeed an authentic Basque-style beret.
Ludden? What was his name?
She turns the beret inside out to sew in the lining. Then she turns the beret right side out again and puts it on a
I can't find
stretching
his name.
machine.
It was like Ludden, I think.
She sets the machine to the desired hat size.
But yeah,
and
that's
it
their custom
automatically
piece.
stretches
We're
the
gonna do
beret to
a,
that size.
A 90-degree joint on the outside of it.
Now she sews a black leather band to the edge. The hat size is printed on it.
I wonder if my
Some
neck will
models
pop
feature
finally.
a colored trim on the band.
Nope. It needs to pop.
The finishing touch is the company's metal
Oh, it
hallmark.
did a little bit just then.
She rivets it to the underside of the beret on one side.
Oh, good stretch. Lunny, thank you, yes. Because it wasn't Lenny,
And that
it was Lunny.
caps off production.
Like Lenny from Motorhead. But Lenny. See, in commercials like this, I always think those songs are going to be copyrighted too. Damn, this blister that popped is actually pretty infected. That's not good. I'll put some Neo
Looking to get high
on
on
it
a new
tonight.
water sport?
Loud
You
winds?
literally can riding a flying water bike.
Flying
It
water
attaches
bike?
with a long hose to the back of a jet ski, elevating you up to almost 40 feet above the water,
What?
where you can perform aerial flips
Oh,
and
so
spins.
kind of like the jetpack. Okay,
The jet
yeah.
ski's water thrust feeds 3 jet nozzles on the flying water bike. One propels the bike upward,
Well, it
The
makes me
other
dizzy.
two feed jet control nozzles that maneuver the bike. The bike's frame is made out of aluminum parts because it has to be lightweight, as well as relatively corrosion
That's a big ass
resistant,
saw.
especially if it's going to be used in salt water.
God damn, they didn't
This
use that. There's
curved
no
tube
there's
will
no
become
water
the
on that.
jet.
They just cut that without
To
any.
build each jet control nozzle, a worker
Wow.
places a housing on an alignment fixture, then hammers an end cap into position.
Yeah, I'm gonna clean it tonight real good in the
Holding
shower.
housing steady with a clamp,
I'll put
the worker welds
Neosporin on it
the
as
end
well
cap.
and a Band-Aid.
This housing will cover the bushing
want
at
the,
the heart of the
uh,
jet control nozzle.
The infection to spread to that joint. That would be
He
bad.
inserts an elbow into the opening in the end cap and welds the parts together.
Ooh, don't be nervous. People are watching you weld.
The other end of the elbow. He welds a handlebar to the housing. These 5 welded parts make up the body of the first jet control nozzle.
Oh, congratulations to you all as well. We hit,
The manufacturers
we
were
broke
all-
our view record. We have a new record every single night, it seems. We have a new record for subs here, and we hit at least 8,000 viewers watching that one time. I think it was 8.3 at the height, 8.3 thousand. It might have gotten to 8.5, I don't know. But we'll call it 8. 8 was what I saw it at for sure, so 8 is our new record for views. Yeah, we gotta protect the fingers. This is my money makers. You know, these are the money makers right here. Unmute.
Positioning parallel
There we go.
support bars between the lifting jet and the splitter, the welder fuses all the parts together.
Got another screenshot. I
Then
appreciate
he
you.
flips the assembly
Yeah,
jet
when it
and
got
welds
to
on the
8,
seat
I
support.
was like, yes, and I was like, new record, and then I was like, wait, but that's still going up. And so I had to do something flashy, and I turned the flame on real big, and I made sure to look over real quick again, and yeah, it was at 8.3 when I looked over again. But that's the highest I saw it. I saw it at 8, it was like new record, saw it at 3, 8.3, and I was like, oh, it's still going. And then by the time I looked back, it was already on its way back down. I think it was back at like 7.9.
For up to a half hour to bake the powder coat to a shiny finish.
I don't know how long it was going up for when I looked back. It might have gone 8.5. That is as high as I think it would have gone in the time before it started going back down.
Another worker attaches the remaining components to the frame. First, he screws in the
Yeah,
pair of
8.3 and then
foot plates
drop.
on which the rider stands. Then he bolts the bottom half of each plate to the parallel support bars, and the top half.
Which is
just
wild.
adds the
That's
cam lock.
more than like. Again, that's more than 99% of TikToks.
To the support bars. It can be
They
easily repositioned to
give me that
accommodate
number at the
rider's
end
height.
each time. But also they said that in
On each unpainted end of the splitter, he installs an internal support rack.
what's it called?
Then the precision
When they invited me
nylon
to the live
bushing,
thing.
and an external support ring which he screws to the splitter.
I need this here. Yeah, 7 was the last record.
Housing over the bushing.
And so when I saw that, I was like, fuck yeah. And then it kept going, and I was like, oh. And then it hit 7.7, 7.8, and then I was like, oh shit, if it hits 8, that's even better. And it did.
To descend, he pushed forward on
I
both.
figured it wasn't going to go any higher than that, so I stopped
One
looking.
forward and one back. And to do a backflip,
Do a
get
backflip.
both control nozzles all the way back. He assembles the water bike's body. It's made of molded polyethylene with a waterproof urethane pad to cushion the front of the rider's body. The seat is made of the same padded material. Both pad and seat attach with plastic clips. The hollow body is completely watertight, which is why the bike floats. The final step is to make the body to the frame. The completed water bicycle weighs 30 pounds.
Oh, really?
Fire hose.
I did not know that. Okay. I'm glad you told me. I'm glad we found that out.
By maneuvering
I'll
the
for
jet
sure
bike,
start saying
it does
that.
backflips, multiple spins,
I thought it was just that
and even dives 20
they didn't
feet
update their
underwater.
shit. That makes a lot of sense though.
But you want to earn your keep, you can join my crew.
You don't spend 26 years in prison without learning a few things. Garbage can's not fancy. What other colors can you?
Table football was first patented by a British inventor in 1923. It became popular throughout Europe, with leagues forming by the 1950s. A decade later, an American working in West Germany brought the game to the U.S., trademarking the German word for it, foosball. In France, the game of foosball is known as babyfoot.
The game of foos is known as babyfoot?
Tables, like this one featuring biker players. Production begins at a foundry, where workers melt down bars of aluminum. An injection molding machine shoots the molten aluminum into molds in the shape of players. A robot removes the casting from the injection machine. The mold yields 4 players, each one sporting the manufacturer's name on the front of his jersey. A worker places each casting on a press, then, with one strike, separates the 4 players and cuts off excess metal.
It's the beta early drop for TikTok, so they don't have it optimized. Subbing while I'm not live is not an option, which I think is very, very dumb. Why wouldn't you be able to sort of sub while they're not live? Even if they don't end up going live, you still showed support. Also, I think y'all's badges should still show up when you comment on my wall videos too, because that also just makes sense. But yeah, eventually subbing here is going to do the same thing. You don't have to keep subbing to both of them. If you want to just keep being a cult member and keep getting all the cult benefits, you can sub to one or the other. Obviously, I'd appreciate subbing to both, and we will end up spending most of our time here on the tube. We have not monetized here yet. That will be eventually. Does anybody know how membership on here works? What the tiers look like? Is everything $4.99, or are there different membership tiers that you can activate? I've never seen any membership options on here. I don't go on here a whole lot. Yeah, I try to announce everyone who joins in. It's especially hard when we have 8,000 people. Tiers, yeah, let me know how YouTube membership work. I know you can have Super Chat, which is donations. Super Chat is just, it highlights your message, and you can set a certain amount for it to be a Super Chat. I would rather get gifted subs though, or gifted memberships instead of Super Chats. I would much rather other members of the community get a sub than a tip for me. But that's still a little bit of ways. We may end up reaching 2,000 view hours tonight. Oh, hi Marley, do you want some attention? I'll give you a big hug. We might end up hitting 2,000 watch hours tonight, which means we would be officially halfway to the watch hours that we need. And then we'd also have to submit for monetization at some point. Oh, hello. We also have to submit for monetization. Come here. Come on, they want to see you. You put your hands right here. You're so good. I swear she understands me. She's just a fucking, she's a little child. You're just a little baby. Marley the glass blower. Good job, Marley. So cute. And TikTok is just month by month. I think there's options for YouTube where you can subscribe for a bundle or something and maybe get a discount. Everything you need to know about YouTube memberships. Perfect. Also, if you found a video on Discord as well, yeah, any videos that y'all think I need to watch. I did watch a couple of videos on how to monetize or how to submit for it, but I don't know what it's going to look like after. We might end up archiving some videos that are some past videos. I know we're not supposed to have content that looks similar, and every single one of our videos looks exactly the same. At least the thumbnail and the title, they're all the same. So I might have to go back and edit all of those. Tiers based on how long you've subbed for YouTube. There's tiers for how long you've subbed on TikTok, I know that. But for YouTube, I think there is like tier 1 and tier 2 subs, like how Twitch has as well. I often stare into your wait. What about my thumbnails? Or do you mean like website thumbnails? Oh, good. That coffee is room temperature now. Much better. Oh yeah, the cult members, the badges should change. The OG cult members, the badges will change. Actually, it'll be the first. I think the first sub we got was on the first. My thumbnails stare into your souls. Yes, the power of the thumbs, especially this one. That's my party trick. Oh, that, and it turns all the way around. So anybody who joined, we'll figure that out. I don't know who's going to be an OG cult member, OG, triple OG. It might be first month, it might be first week. I think first week would be a little bit more exclusive. Tell them do my little dance.
A computer-guided machine drills a hole in the center of each player through which the rod will pass.
I hate that this light goes through my hair. Little insecurity that I have, because as y'all know, my locks damaged my hairline when I had it, and every time I go over this way, I see that it like fucking shines the light directly through it. But good news, my hair is actually growing back.
Dean threads a hole through the player's back for the screw that secures the player to the rod.
I think it looks kind of cool. When I get it right, it kind of looks like Shikamaru's hairline from Naruto. You know how it's like pointed?
Once ready, the players move to the foosball table factory, where a worker sprays on a base coat of white paint.
I got a very serious widow's peak now.
Workers continue painting the players, but now using an airbrush.
Thank you, Mitha.
They mask the player's body to paint only his head. The company offers a selection of skin tones.
Definitely, we'll have you end up modding in there.
They mask the player with another stencil covering the skin and exposing the shirt and socks. Next, they mask everything except the player's head and feet. A player can be brunette, blonde, or redhead. They paint the shoes black, then the player's eyes and mouth.
Marley just stares at me sometimes from just across the room, or like from the doorway. I'm Marley.
Components, drills the required holes,
and I swear she looks like a small child, so it scares me sometimes. They have very human faces.
Workers then assemble
Marley,
parts,
you need to cut your
starting
nails.
with the 4 sides, which connect with bolted steel rods.
You cut your nails already? You got sharp nails, baby. Foosball! Foosball is the devil!
Workers install
Marley is a small child, right? Like a small Victorian child?
And after a goal, direct the ball to the ball return tray. The table now goes to the paint shop.
Yeah, we're talking about
workers
you.
Either stain the wood or leave it natural. For this model, they also spray red stain into the recessed stripes and logo. All tables receive a finishing coat of transparent varnish to protect the wood. Put them into place. Workers turn the table right side up. Mount the aluminum.
Oh no, it lagged at the very
right
end.
behind them.
You missed 1 second of Marley.
They lay the playing surface, made of green vinyl on pressed wood, on top of the wooden support bars. Wood trim around the perimeter holds the surface
You don't
in
like
place.
when I pick you up.
A worker mounts the players for each line on
Lucy has never liked when I pick her up.
Using a template to space them correctly, He bolts each player to the rod, then attaches a rubber bumper to the player.
It's also because Labradoodles are kind of oddly shaped. If you've ever seen one shaved all the way down, all of their organs are up in their chest cavity except for their bladder and kidneys and lower intestine, like we talked about, is like all at the very end, so it's all short. And so when you lift them up in the wrong way, like you would lift any normal fucking dog, it pushes a whole bunch of pressure, right? Yeah, it puts a whole bunch of pressure on their bladder and all that lower parts of them. So I have to lift Marley up literally like a child. Like she goes back up on her hinds, like you see her, and I have to lift her up under her armpits. Wow. Hang on, y'all keep going. I'll show y'all. Let's see if they keep going. Lucy, get her. Get her. Get her. Go. Go. Lucy, you can't even see anything. Y'all need haircuts. Go, keep fighting. See who wins. Marley's like, fuck off. You need a haircut and you need a haircut. You both need haircuts. I want to give Marley bangs. Give Marley straight across bangs like that. Give her a bowl cut. Marley, you look like an old man. Why are you sitting there like that? That's what I mean. She does that and just stares at me. She just scares me sometimes because I'll turn around and she'll just be sitting in the fucking corner or in the doorway staring like that. She stares like that, and Lucy has like at least a little bit of like emotion on her face. They both do look quite concerned though. They're like, why haven't you fucking given us a haircut? We can't see anything. It's because you look so cute with long hair. And I feel like if I do give them a haircut, it will actually look like I gave them a bowl cut. I'm afraid to do it.
From slamming against the sidewalls. He inserts a narrower stainless steel rod into the hollow bar.
Yeah, Marley is Victorian ghost child, and Lucy is the adult it haunts.
After preparing rods and pliers, the worker installs them in the table. The telescoping handle of the rod has a spring-loaded bearing that fits in a hole in the table.
Put your hands right
here.
here.
From the outside.
Good girl, Lucy. Wow, glass blowing Lucy. Here, put your paw right here.
Protect the top edge of the table with a plastic trim. After threading plastic handles to the telescopic end of the rods,
she does look like fucking
this foosball.
Fuck! I watch Full Metal Alchemist so often. Nina. She does look like Nina. Words. In the different versions, it's different words. She either goes Edward or she goes brother. Either one is worse than the next one. Either version of the fucking show is bad, but that is one of those. Honestly, if I grew Lucy's hair out a little longer and maybe like put a like kind of lion's mane wig on her, that would be a fun cosplay for Lucy. Edward? Brother?
An artist paintbrush can have synthetic bristles or natural ones made of animal hair.
Watch out, Stinky. I gotta stand right here.
Which type to use is really a matter.
She's like, but I'm the glass blower now.
However, painters often tend to use a natural brush for watercolors, a synthetic brush for acrylics.
My favorite thing, one of my favorite things about cons is there's always a Nina. There's always someone who cosplays that, and someone always ends up just running and going, no, 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 not allowed.
Like for oils. These natural hair paintbrushes are made of red sable, which is tailed hair from the species of weasel.
Little weasel. Uh-oh, are they going to show
fucking
fucking
softness?
Okay, good. I was going to say
thinly and evenly.
fucking culling off a bunch of
experienced
weasels.
paintmaker performs the initial steps of making the head of the paintbrush. She unrolls and straightens out a bundle of red sable. Then separates enough hairs for one brush of this size.
Yeah, that part makes me cry.
She inserts the
Every
hairs
time.
into a metal band called a ferrule.
Especially because of how long it takes fucking Alphonse to realize.
She feels how they fit in the ferrule. If the fit's too tight, she removes
Edward
the hairs.
realizes
If it's
immediately,
too
and
loose,
Alphonse
she
is
adds
like, what's happening?
brushes of different shapes require
And
different
fucking
tensions.
Edward is literally attacking the dad by the time Alphonse is like,
takes the
oh.
brass mold for the brush shape she's making and inserts the hairs.
God, my nose
all the
itches
way
so
down
bad right
to
now. I
the
feel like
cavity.
one of my nose hairs is facing the opposite direction now.
She ties the roots of the hairs together with the string. Then removes them from the mold. She inserts the brush head back into the ferrule.
Ooh,
Then removes
that's
the
a
string.
satisfying process. You like the feeling of nose hairs being pulled or being tickled in the nose?
Next, using a template, she adjusts what's called the length out of the brush head. Length out is how far the hairs
damn it.
protrude from the end of the ferrule. After removing stray hairs, she aligns the end of the ferrule with the edge of the nearly 1 inch long template and pulls out or pushes in.
Oh,
the
you
hairs
hate that
until
feeling.
they're
I misread it.
aligned with
My
the opposite edge of the
dyslexia
template.
flared up. I thought you said you liked that feeling. I was like, what? Like, who would like that?
She completes her specialized work by suspending the assembled brush head from a rack.
Yeah, these are nice paintbrushes. This is a good
Another worker
episode.
now fills a syringe with epoxy glue. Then, with the syringe, fills the ferrule with enough
Oh,
glue
wait.
to submerge the hairs.
There is a hair. There's
Once
something
the glue
tickling
has
my
dried
nose.
overnight, another worker taps the brush head against a strip of adhesive tape to remove any short hairs that didn't adhere. She dips the hairs into a solution of starch and water
Dip, dip, dip.
and works the solution into all the hairs by massaging the head on a towel.
She does
The
what now?
starch allows the hairs to be trained to a permanent shape. She makes this particular pointed shape by spinning the
Oh, I
head,
put my hand too far in the flame.
then
Did you see
smoothing the
that?
hairs with her fingers. The
Oh
starch
yeah,
dries
cat
overnight,
fur. I cannot.
locking in the shape.
I cannot do. I'm allergic to cat
To make
dander,
the
not
paintbrush
cat
handle,
fur. But
the
yeah,
worker inserts
either way,
brushed
not a
dowels
fan.
in a pegboard, then mounts the board upside
Ooh,
down
my
on
back
a
popped.
dipping machine. This machine submerges the dowels in black lacquer paint.
Like a head knows what one desires. Like a head sets his
After
skull
one day
on
of drying
fire.
time, there's a second dip,
Primus
part
song.
way this time in silver paint.
Ooh, look at that.
The machine has markings to indicate how deep to dip the dowels for each color.
I have so many fingerprints on my glasses right now. Ooh.
After another day of drying time, there's a third dip, this time partway in black paint. This creates a black handle with a silver stripe. Once the last coat of black paint dries, a worker uses a pad printer to stamp lettering on the handle with quick-dry silver ink. One stamp simultaneously applies the manufacturer's name, the brush hair material, the size of the brush, and the series number. A worker glues the brush head onto the handle. Then the worker sets the brush aside for a couple of hours until the glue partially dries to a tacky state. Because the next step, crimping, would crack the fully dried hardened glue. The worker inserts the ferrule into a crimping machine, which has been loaded with the die. That's the correct diameter for this brush handle. The machine crimps the ferrule tightly to the handle, attaching it permanently. Once that glue hardens, the paintbrush is finally ready. From this point onward, it's in the artist's hands.
When it comes to cheese slices, choose the one that makes mouths water. The one that's irresistible.
The one that's not
The
even
one
cheese.
that's 100% real natural cheese. Sorrento.
I was literally just about to say the one that's not even real cheese. I thought it was Kraft.
Calisons are a traditional French candy made of almonds, candied melon, and orange peel, topped with a thin layer of hard, typically white icing.
Really?
Calisons are a specialty of the city of Aix-en-Provence in the Provence region of southern France.
Yeah, we'll do that here in a little bit. This is taking a bit longer than I planned on in the beginning.
Was created in France in the mid-15th century in honor of the wedding of King
That will be done next, though.
And Queen Jeanne of Laval. The confection became the specialty of Provence, the region of southern France known for its almond orchards. Inside the greenish almond is a hard shell. Inside that shell is the edible almond seed. The almonds arrive at the workshop dried for conservation and their brown skin removed. The first step in the production is to rehydrate the almonds with steam for about 10 minutes so that they can be worked into a paste. Once the almond's moisture content is increased by 2 to 4%, the almonds pass over a vibrating screen to drain any water resulting from steam condensation. Meanwhile, this cauldron heats up liquid beet sugar.
Beet sugar? Someone called twice.
Sugar beet producers, so high-quality beet sugar is readily available. Workers transfer the hydrated almonds to a grinder and add candied fruit, 95% melon and 5% orange peel. This flavor is the 500-year-old traditional recipe.
Right, yeah, this is a perfect... Oh, that looks like
grind the
meat.
ingredients for about 10 minutes until everything is thoroughly blended into a coarse paste.
Interesting.
The
Looks like
paste
rice.
drops onto a conveyor belt, which transfers it to a kneading machine into which workers add the hot liquid beet sugar and natural almond oil made from bitter almonds. Kneading blends the ingredients and smooths the texture of the paste. A worker boxes the Calisson paste and sets it aside for 3 days to let the sugar mature and stabilize. Calisons are topped with an ever so thin layer of royal icing. Unlike creamy icings, royal icing is as hard as a rock. To make it, a worker combines icing sugar and whipped egg whites passed through a strainer. A mixer beats the ingredients until the mixture is thick and smooth, which typically takes about 10 minutes. After 3 days of rest, the paste is ready to be worked. Shaping and decorating the calisons is a specialized task, entrusted to these experienced artisans called calisonniers. First, they place slices of paste in a press and load a mold underneath. They cover the mold with a wafer-thin sheet of unleavened bread. Then
Yeah,
the
man,
press descends,
I forgot you
forcing
said
the
Saturday.
paste with the bread layer underneath into the mold. They skim off the excess paste, then fold the stencil over the mold and apply the layer of oil icing. They lift off the stencil and push the buttons which activate the mold pistons. Each piston pierces the base of a calisson and lifts it out of the mold. Finally, they remove the calissons with cones designed to fit around the pistons. A 10-minute trip through a tunnel oven set at low temperature bakes the royal icing to a hard and shiny state. Cameras record the position of the calisons as they exit the oven.
Ooh, look at that.
Adding a robotic arm to pick up 160
Go, robot
per
arm,
minute
go.
and place them in plastic trays. The next machine seals each tray with plastic film to preserve freshness. There's also a gift box format for which a worker hand fills plastic trays designed to fit lozenge-shaped metal boxes. These traditional calisons contain a candied fruit content of at least 30%, the melon being a variety cultivated in the region of Provence. However, if your taste buds are the type that buck tradition, today you can enjoy a wide selection of other fashionable flavors, such as clementine and cocoa bean, or raspberry and matcha green tea.
I bet that green tea one is really good.
Are you ready to move?
James, you got this.
Let's start with the script.
Here we go.
And turn. And now live. Just keep moving.
Now, happy to move. Great job, everybody.
See you next time.
Thomas Jefferson, one of America's founding fathers,
Thomas
came up with the
Jefferson
first swiveling
was a
mechanism
piece
for
of shit.
office chairs. Decades later, Charles Darwin added small wheels called casters to his chair
Fuck Thomas
to
Jefferson.
hold
All my
around the
homies
study
hate Thomas
as he
Jefferson.
worked on the theory of evolution. Today, office chairs still swivel and roll. The office chair has become a status symbol. Executive versions have kingly dimensions. They're extremely plush.
Oh yeah, it
and
definitely
serious
helps
lumbar support.
take the place of it for at least a night
Using a
or the next
hydraulically
day.
powered machine, a worker bends 14-gauge steel tubing to form the bottom cushion frame. He joins the ends and welds steel bars to the middle. The bars will support the mechanism for adjusting the position of the seat.
We'll see how long it takes me to finish this piece. We might only do
He
this one
hooks
tonight.
S-shaped steel springs from the front to the
Might
back
do
of the seat frame.
the bowl for Ace tomorrow.
These sinuous springs will eventually provide a flexible web of suspension in the seat. He positions the rods laterally and clips them to the springs for additional stability and support. The office chair seat frame is now complete. Next, a worker builds the chair's back frame. The frame includes a spine lumbar support, armrest attachments, and other parts. He grinds burrs and other rough spots from the steel.
So maybe another 30
In the
minutes.
upholstery department, another worker smooths the leather hide so that it sits evenly on the cutting table. He cuts out the patterns following cardboard templates. As he cuts, he works around the natural flaws in the hide, making calculated decisions to minimize waste. By cutting carefully, he'll be able to get all the leather he needs for one chair from this large hide. That's important because color and grain can vary from hide to hide. Using pieces from the same one will give the chair a consistent look and texture. Once all the leather pattern pieces have been accumulated, another worker cuts foam cushioning for vacuum. The density of the foam in the chair varies. He uses more rigid foam for the chair's contoured cushioning so it will hold its shape.
Cool. Next, the stem gets attached.
Another worker selects softer foam for the part of the chair that the occupant's back will rest against.
For sure, Ace, I appreciate you. Yeah, we're almost out of oxygen.
He cuts slits into this.
I also need to
softer
cold
back
work a little bit of
This creates channels
actually,
that
we're just gonna
will
use this
become
one.
a design feature.
I thought I had another piece somewhere. Now I can't find the other
Using
piece
chalk,
that I thought
he
I
draws
had.
lines onto the corresponding leather that match up with the slits.
We'll see if
in the
this
foam.
piece attaches first try, and if we get it first try, we can get to your
A
bowl.
worker aligns the chalk lines in
If I
the
can
leather
find
with
where I
the
put that
slits
other piece.
and puckers the leather as he sews the backing to it. This forms a rib pattern in the upper
Oh,
half
cool.
of the chair
Yeah.
upholstery.
Okay, I had another one over here. I thought so.
He stitches the padding flat to many of the other pattern pieces. This particular part is a side panel.
Let me
for the
get this
back of
piece
the chair.
attached, and we'll be pretty much done with that piece, and then we can get to yours.
Returning to the upholstery with the ribbing now. He sews
Sky, yeah,
contour
you gotta be
casings
careful.
to
Time
each
passes
side.
quickly in here.
To complete the back of the chair, workers add a chipboard panel and encase the structure with foam, then cover it with the leather upholstery. Once the chair seat has been upholstered, an employee installs a plastic cover to enclose the back. He screws a sliding plate to the base. This mechanism will work in conjunction with the plate to slide the seat forward and backward, depending on legroom needs. It also has features for adjusting the tilt and height of the seat. The hydraulic cylinder for adjusting the seat height is next. The cylinder also doubles as the chair stem, and it swivels to allow the seat to rotate 360 degrees. He attaches the aluminum base to the cylinder. He snaps the casters into slots in the aluminum base. He equips the back of the office chair with an automobile-style headrest. The prongs fit into the brackets in the chair frame. Finally, he locks the armrests into the frame. This office chair is now ready to make someone's desk job a lot more comfortable.
This new Dallas Fort Worth Acura dealer for attractive offers on certified pre-owned vehicle.
Nature's Bounty Jelly Bean Vitamins. Tastes like a jelly bean. Acts like a vitamin. Wellness. Now comes in a jelly bean.
Do I want it to come in a jelly bean?
Fire helmets are lightweight, but that doesn't mean they aren't tough. Because of their chemical composition, these plastic helmets remain sturdy, even when exposed to temperatures of over 500 degrees Fahrenheit. Developed in the 1970s, the helmets have become standard issue at many fire stations. There are few situations more dangerous than entering a burning building. Thermoplastic fire helmets weigh substantially less than other alternatives. These helmets are one piece of equipment that won't slow down the rescue mission. Production starts with the special blend of thermoplastic pellets. A vacuum pulls the pellets into a hopper. The pellets then flow into an injection molding machine. It melts and molds the pellets into the shape of a fire helmet. A robot retrieves the helmet and transfers
Okay,
it
one
to a
sec.
cooling station.
Precarious part.
A worker then clips off plastic that's solidified as it flows through a channel and into the mold. This unwanted bit is called sprue. She
Called
wipes off
what?
fingerprints and inspects the condition of the helmet shell. The next worker trims the brim to remove excess plastic that formed when the mold closed. For this process, he uses a blade with a curved edge. Next, he applies reflective strips that will allow the firefighter to be seen in the dark. He drills holes for attaching either goggles or face shields. And the worker adds a last reflective strip. He screws a support plate for the IV shield to the front of the helmet shell. He uses plastic screws rather than metal, because metal is electrically conductive and would put the firefighter at risk in the event of electrical sparking during a fire. Another worker now applies labels to the inside of the helmet shell. The labels indicate that this model of fire helmet is in compliance with the safety requirements. The worker inserts high-density foam padding in the helmet shell. The padded cap will cushion the wearer from the force of an impact. This web of straps will serve as a suspension line.
And the silver
and will
fume,
also support
the
helmet on
rim
wearer's
of that
head.
a little bit as well. But while we wait, we will make
Another
the bolt
worker
piece
installs a
for
ratchet
Ace.
system for adjusting the fit of the liner to the firefighter's head.
Oh, so
Positioned at the nape of the
I
neck,
have
the
an
firefighter can
in-house
turn the knob
oxygen
to pull the
concentration
suspension
system
web tighter.
called a high volume oxygen system, or an HVO. That system costs 10 grand, and it produces all of the oxygen that I need in-house. It's that loud noise you hear in the background, that really loud beep that kicks on every now and then. Also the generator sound that plays at the beginning of this stream. Usually glass blowers have to use what are called K-tanks. K-tanks are like twice the size of scuba tanks, and weigh twice the weight of scuba tanks as well. If you've ever had a scuba tank on, you know how heavy those fuckers are. But the K-tank really only lasts about a night of glass blowing. I used to go through a K-tank a night and had 3 of them at a time, and those cost usually in the $20 each to go through. So y'all can do that math, and that's call it $60 a night for glass blowing versus a 10 grand system that paid for itself very, very quickly. Can you rewind the live while it's playing? I'm sure, obviously. I mean, it's recording, right? I didn't know that was a thing. But yeah, I attached the down stem. Actually, I can show it to you now. It's been long enough in there that it should be nice and warm. Oh yeah. Perfect. I'm gonna silver fume this. Right now. Right here. Right now.
Attachments on the suspension liner fit into sockets on the helmet to lock it in place. He fastens the chin strap to the helmet by wrapping the ends around molded struts on both sides of the shell. The chin strap has a quick release button in the event that the firefighter has to remove the helmet fast.
Oh, I watched She-Hulk. It's so good.
Another worker now folds up flame-resistant ear flaps. The flaps are equipped with hook and loop fastening strips that fit to the helmet. He sets the ear flaps aside while he inserts snaps for goggles into brackets on the helmet.
Alright.
He screws the snaps snugly to the helmet. The worker then wraps the fire and fog-resistant goggles around the helmet and snaps them to it. He tucks the maintenance instructions into the helmet, followed by the folded ear flaps.
Alright, let's make that bolt
This thermoplastic fire helmet is now complete.
But
there's
honey
still one
drip
last bit of official business.
Yeah. Honey.
The worker screws the large leather ID shield to the support plate. The shield bears the name of the fire department and a symbol that denotes rank. This fire helmet is now ready for duty. It will be one of the first things the
we got enough time to
when he or she gets an emergency call.
To make this bowl. We're gonna end at 3:45. Because if we start, if we go till 4, I will. Oh my God, that's why I need to take a break. If I go until 4, I'll want to stay until 4:20, but I can't tonight. I need to take a little bit of a break. I've been using lots of words lately.
Raw food to Fido is a natural choice. It harkens back to the common ancestor of all dog breeds, the wolf. In the wild, wolves eat raw meat and occasionally some greens. So the theory goes that dogs are genetically predisposed to thrive on a raw meat diet. Dogs have been domesticated for thousands of years, but when it comes to their diet, they can still go a little wild. Raw canine cuisine may be a foreign concept to some pet owners, but it's becoming more mainstream.
I need to put Lucy back on raw feed or on a raw diet.
Fruits and vegetables with meat.
She has she gets
create a balanced meal.
UTIs and bladder
The process
infections.
starts with a lot of slicing and
Just
dicing.
more bladder problems.
A food worker chops the fruits and veggies into smaller pieces.
And it's because of
so they'll be able to go
high
through a
protein and high
grinder
calcium in their diet. They can't process it right.
He also removes the seeds from the apples and the squash, because the seeds aren't as easily digested as the rest of the fruit and provide no additional nutrition. This raw pet food recipe calls for a variety of fruits and vegetables, though in total,
we'll end it up
just 5%
at
of the
45 tonight.
The rest of the raw blend will consist of meat, bones, organs, and fish.
Enough time to finish these two and then hang out for a little bit longer.
Another food worker chops up the chicken, which has been organically raised and has even been approved for human consumption.
Chopping the chicken.
Except for the breasts, all the parts of the chicken will be used in the main recipe. This includes the heart, liver, gizzards, and the bones. Raw whole sardines, anchovies, and mackerel will add essential fatty acids to the raw chicken blend.
Your dogs are eating better than I am.
And are now ready for grinding. A worker feeds the components to the grinder in small batches, interspersing the meat, fish, and the vegetables. This ensures even distribution, as the grinder minces everything to a uniform particle size. The result is a thick emulsion of finely ground chicken meat, bones, vegetables, fruits, and fish. She transfers the minced raw ingredients to a mixer. The revolving paddles further blend the food. After about 5 minutes in the mixer, all the ingredients have been combined into one homogeneous raw mass.
Homogeneous. I like that word.
This chicken blend is now complete. The worker divides it into 5-pound batches and scoops it into bags. She vacuum seals the bag. Removing all the air inside will allow the raw blend to stay fresh longer. Refrigerated, it should last for up to 10 days. And if frozen, it should be good for several months. For the furry members of the family, dinner is ready to be served. To make some raw pet snacks, a worker deshells New Zealand green-lipped mussels, a species that is believed to have fast-acting anti-inflammatory properties. After she cuts the mussels free from the shells,
this is definitely a sponsored episode of this. Can y'all tell how they're kind of selling the items that they're showing at the same time?
Tent, where fans keep air circulating 24 hours a day. As the mussels dry, they shrink. After 72 hours in the tent, the moisture content is substantially reduced. Air drying has preserved the flesh of the mussels in the raw state, while preventing damage to the nutrients and enzymes they contain.
You see, they keep showing the name of it as well.
Preserved, she packs the mussels into plastic bags and adds an iron oxide packet to absorb oxygen and prevent.
I wonder how much that cost.
This raw pet food is now ready to nourish the wolf in your dog.
Cast a spell with the enchanted scents from Ghost Creek Candle and the Disney's Hocus Pocus 2 collection. Discover the Disney's Hocus Pocus 2 collection at ghostcreekcandle.com. Disney's Hocus Pocus 2 is released in
What?
only on Disney Plus.
No shit, Hocus Pocus 2? I think I knew about that, right?
My name is Gary.
You got all the original cast, right?
I have MS.
MS is really bad.
I take Ocrevus.
An infusion treatment that's 2 times a year. For adults with relapsing or primary progressive forms of multiple sclerosis, Ocrevus has proven effective in reducing relapses in RMS and slowing disability progression in RMS and PPMS.
Don't take Ocrevus if you've had a life-threatening allergic reaction to it or have hepatitis B. Tell your doctor about vaccinations or if you've had Hep B, as it could come back. A common side effect of Ocrevus is infusion reactions, and some may require hospitalization. It can increase your risk of infections, which can be serious and may decrease certain types of immunoglobulins. While PML was not reported in clinical trials, it could happen. An increased risk of cancer, including breast cancer, may exist.
MS
I like
is
that
what
word.
we have.
No, I got a glass screen in there already for you, friend. Matches your rig as well. You wanted that blue dot, right?
Has been part of the Korean diet for at least
Blue dot and then a drip of honey off of it is what I think we decided on, right?
And some even have special refrigerators for it in their homes. Like fine wine, kimchi must be kept at a specific temperature to be at its best.
Hell yeah, got you. Yeah, that's how I make all my bowls.
Friendly probiotics. Kimchi is
Built-in screen is always just nice.
Which is why demand is on the rise beyond Korean borders.
Ooh, kimchi is
starts with
delicious.
the preparation of organically grown vegetables. There are many different recipes for kimchi. This one is vegan and less spicy than some other versions.
Vegan meaning no fish sauce or fish oil, maybe?
Bits from carrots and scallions. They then peel wilted leaves off of Napa cabbage, which is the main ingredient in kimchi. Its taste is sweeter and softer than regular cabbage. Over at the scrub station, a worker cleans the trimmed vegetables under cool running water. If he misses even a speck of dirt, it could interfere with chemical reactions during the fermentation process. This could sour the flavor of the kimchi and spoil the batch. Each vegetable must be pristine. The next member of the team shreds the carrots using an industrial food processor. Shredded bits of carrot will ferment quicker than big chunks. Scallions can't easily be shredded, so he dices them by hand. The kitchen staff carves the cabbage into fairly large strips. Because cabbage is thin, bigger strips will ferment at the same pace as the shredded carrots and diced scallions. The next ingredient is ginger, a spice that will add flavor and soothe the digestive system. Another worker transfers the shredded ginger to a porous cotton bag. She folds the bag a few times to create a packet, and then places the packet under a press.
Oh, come on.
The press squeezes juice from the ginger and extracts the ginger essence while leaving the stringy pulp behind. The worker weighs the ingredients beginning with the shredded carrot. This is the largest ingredient after Napa cabbage. She then measures the portion of scallions that the recipe calls for. She adds a scoop of Celtic sea salt and checks the scale. Other ingredients include
Trying to get this
garlic,
drip just right, and it's fighting me a
chili
little
flakes,
bit. There we go.
and the ginger juice. She stirs the seasonings into the vegetables, and the ginger juice begins to saturate the scallion and carrot pieces. All the ingredients now come together in this mixer with a big dough hook. The worker adds the carrot and scallion blend to the Napa cabbage in the base of the mixing bowl.
Yeah, there we go.
She activates the mixer, and the dough hook folds all the elements together. Fermentation begins, triggered by the evenly distributed
Little drip.
salt. Workers then transfer the mixture
And then
to
it's
special
got a
fermentation
built-in
pots
glass screen
and pack it down.
that matches.
2 half-circle ceramic weights add pressure to the salted ingredients. Juices flow and immerse the kimchi vegetables, creating an oxygen-free environment. The salt suppresses the growth of bad bacteria, allowing the good bacteria to flourish. Another worker pours water into a moat around the lid, creating a ring of water that acts as a kind of seal, one that will keep air out of the crock, but will allow fermentation gases to escape. 1 week later, the kimchi is sufficient.
Glad you like it, Ace. Yeah, that turned out nicely. They came together very cleanly. It'll match that rig nicely.
Packs the kimchi into
It'll have that drip off the front.
Container
It'll look real
confirm
nice.
that the amount is correct. The jars must be completely full.
Next, we're gonna take that other rig off the handle, and then we are done. Perfect timing. We'll probably hang out and watch another episode together, another episode or two. Let me do that real quick just so we can be finished.
Once refrigerated, kimchi can last for up to 14 months. Well preserved.
Damn, I want some kimchi now.
It's practically always ready to be served.
That sounds really, really good. It's really, really good for you too.
This is a cranberry, full of power, ancient.
The invention of polyurethane skateboard wheels in the early 1970s suddenly made jumps in tight cornering possible because these wheels had a better grip on riding surfaces than the old metal or ceramic wheels. They were more durable and the shock absorption was greatly improved. Skateboard wheels come in different sizes, hardness, colors, and graphic designs. For the rider, there are many practical and aesthetic considerations. Making skateboard wheels starts with the computer design. A designer uses the software to guide cutting tools. The tools carve into a solid aluminum puck and transform it into one half of a wheel mold.
There's a bug in here.
The other half of the mold.
Where'd you come from, bug?
as the computerized tooling sculpts another
I saw it
pup
flying
to a
underneath my
profile
fucking
that
glasses.
fits to the first one perfectly. Not all of the skateboard wheel molds are two-part versions. Others are one-piece structures, each with a pin in the center to form a bearing cavity. A nozzle dispenses freshly mixed polyurethane liquid into the wheel molds. The liquid starts to solidify immediately. To complete the process, a worker loads the polyurethane-filled molds into an oven and bakes them at almost 240 degrees Fahrenheit for 40 minutes. During baking, any bubbles in the polyurethane rise to the top and are diffused, leaving solid forms with no weak spots. Workers remove the pins from the molds.
Sometimes the necks come together a little easier than others, but this one's fighting me just a little
Here,
bit.
a worker blasts compressed air between the wheels and the molds to pry the wheels free and pop them out. Another worker probes the wheel using a durometer gauge to ensure the urethane has cured to the right degree of hardness. If the sample wheel is sufficiently hard, the batch is ready for the next step. The worker clamps the skateboard wheel in a lathe. The lathe spins the wheel while an automatic cutter contours the edges to a softer, more rounded profile.
And then they wanted
wheel some visual impact.
the top
An
of
artist
this.
selects and arranges graphic
Silver
designs
fumed
on
as
a
well.
computer. He prints a film negative of the images he's chosen. A worker will use this negative to produce a printing plate from a piece of metal that's been coated with a light-sensitive substance known as emulsion. He places the film negative on the plate inside a UV light chamber. He closes the lid and activates the UV light. This triggers a photochemical reaction that transfers the image from the negative to the
Nice,
plate.
nice.
The worker then applies a solution that removes unexposed emulsion, and in
This
the
piece turned out
process,
really, really
etches
nice.
the image into the printing plate.
This is gonna function
He
crazy.
rinses off the chemicals. Next, he dries the plate.
Good
to
stuff,
remove
people.
the etched artwork.
Marley, what are you chewing
Another
on?
worker
I don't think
positions
you
a
should be chewing on
magnetized
anything
ink
right
over
now.
the image and installs it in a pad printing machine. An operator loads skateboard wheels onto posts that index them forward for printing.
Good job, y'all.
The ink cup deposits ink on the printing plate.
Great. Oh, look at that. I always like those
Silicone
things.
pad picks up the inked image and stamps it onto the skateboard wheel. The operator removes.
Thank y'all for being here.
the printed
Appreciate y'all
wheel and
hanging
sets it
out.
on
We
tray.
got about 10 minutes longer. I'm gonna hang out a few more minutes. We'll watch another.
One of the wheels in a
Looks
testing
exactly
device,
like what I
which
expected
will
somebody who
produce
makes
a rebound. He drops a metal ball
skateboard
onto the
wheels
wheel
looks like.
and measures how high it bounces or rebounds. A high rebound is desirable.
We'll let that get back up to temperature and then we'll crash that kiln.
A worker wraps the wheels in plastic and heat shrinks it. It takes about 3 days to make these skateboard wheels. But how long they'll last depends a lot on the rider and how he or she rolls.
Or they. I'm just kidding. It's fucking humid still. It's very humid in Texas. I'm very sticky right now. Again. What the fuck? What am I looking at?
It's hard to beat the glitter and glow of glass Christmas ornaments. For many people, the Christmas tree just wouldn't
Oh,
be
no
the
shit.
same without them.
Glass
They were
blowing. That's a good one
invented in
to.
the 19th century by a German glassmaker who decided to improvise.
Good one to
because he
almost
couldn't
end it
afford
on.
to decorate his tree with
We'll watch the
usual
beginning of the
nuts
next
and
one after
candy.
this as well, because these are 5 minutes each. Actually, we'll watch this one and that'll be
They're
good.
Christmas
We'll do a
ideas.
sign off with the pups and everything.
Today's glass ornaments are visual.
Y'all get
treats.
that background noise ready.
To make some of the ornaments, they start with a sketch and make a plaster model of it.
So they can make of yeah, so they can blow into it. Yep. I've wanted to do that. for a while.
They take a glass
They use,
cylinder,
look at that,
fire
look.
its wider end so it softens.
That's soft glass. Wait. Yeah, that's soft glass. Wait, no, wait.
The glass maker blows into the pipe.
Yeah, that's soft glass.
To stretch the supple glass into the basic shape.
I was
of a
gonna say,
ball.
my glass does not do that.
Other glass tubes are more bulbous at the center.
Actually, I wonder if
That's
it is
the section
boro.
that's fired. As
It
the
actually
glass
does
maker
kind of
blows
look like
it into a more
borosilicate.
elongated bubble.
It is. That's the same glass that I
He
use.
places that bubble in the mold.
Look.
And blows
Oh, it's a
extra
different
hard.
torch, though.
The glass expands into its crevices.
Look at how many times
and
he's burned
takes
his
its
fingers.
shape.
Did you see that?
He places that bubble in the mold and blows extra hard. The glass.
Look at those fingers. Look at them fang dangs. Look at that fucking angle of that finger. Look at the hand. Look at the hand. That's what I'll look like in 10 years. That's what my shit's gonna look like.
Expands into its crevices and takes its shape. A snowman.
I want something like that. Yeah, it's a production torch. Actually, wait, no, that's a
He
fucking.
burns off one of the blowpipe ends.
Oh my god! Look at how
Shape. A snow.
look at how that poor torch. Look at how. Wait, hang on. Wait, was it there or was it? You see this? That's all carbon buildup on the torch. This poor torch, those ports are melted. They blaze that thing so hot all day long, the poor thing's fucking oxygen ports are melted. And it's got carbon buildup that's melting to the face of it. That type of torch, which is a CC, a Carlson, or a Carlisle, does that a lot. Those torches come with what's called a beating stick. Literally just a wooden dowel like this that you're just supposed to fucking hit. Oops. That you're supposed to hit the face of your torch with. If you do that with one of these, you want to make sure the oxygen is going, just in case you knock loose any dust or anything. You don't want it going back into there. You launch it out the front.
He burns
Oh, no,
off one of the
Mytho.
blowpipe ends and then aims the torch at the snowman's nose to pull it out.
Get a long thing and scrape the bottom side of your, so you know your bowl, and you know how the hole goes straight through. Right at the bottom of that is going to be the best scrapables.
A quick cool down.
That's
could
what I
shorten
found
his
in my
limit.
experience.
So he gradually lowers its temperature with a less intense flame.
Yeah, a little Bunsen burner.
Blowing the molded glass figurines is quick work. The glassmaker has just a few seconds to complete the job.
It's
before
borosilicate.
the glass becomes too cool.
It's
and
boro.
stiff to shape.
That's what. So they said they have to do it quicker. It'll be too stiff to shape. That's what
Shine.
I have to worry about.
This will be an inside job. The glassmaker pours silvering solution into the baubles through the stem. She then dips the bauble in warm water. This activates the silvering chemicals, and shaking the ornament accelerates this process.
No shit.
She swirls the silvering liquid around to completely coat the inside of the ornament. A final dip gives this bauble a mirror
See,
finish
that's
from the
not
inside out.
safe for you to inhale, though.
She empties the silvering solution into another tank for recycling. They also use this technique on the figurines, like the snowman. A quick shake gives this guy an inner beauty.
Look at that, a silver snowman. Do they hand paint them?
Next, they submerge the glass ornament in lacquer to give it some color.
Lacquerhead knows what one desires. Lacquerhead sets his skull on fire.
The
Oh,
finish
interesting.
inside shines through the lacquer.
No shit. Okay, they
Now the
layered it.
snowman ornament gets an artist's touch.
That's why it looks see-through. That's why that color looks transparent.
The figurine for a frosty finish.
Whoa.
It makes the snowman look more like old Frosty.
What?
The artist paints some of the details by hand, like the trim on the hat and robe of the Santa ornament. This gives it more visual depth. Once the paint dries, she brushes glue onto sections where she wants glitter dust to stick.
Hell yeah, glitter dust. Alright, we got about a minute left in this. We got about 3 minutes left in the
glue
stream.
dries quickly. So
Ooh, look at that. Oh,
glue.
just want to dip my arm in
When it
that
comes to
glitter.
Christmas sparkle, you just
glitter
can't get
arms.
enough.
Ooh, yeah. I like glitter.
Next, she makes an incision in the stem and snaps it off.
Score and snap. Let me see how it looks when. Yeah, that's Boro. I bet I could do some stuff like this.
The ornament stub.
They don't even polish it. They didn't even polish that. That's so sharp under
very
there.
Carefully. They put them in boxes that cradle each one individually to ensure they arrive safely. Now, these glass ornaments are ready to go out on a limb to add beauty to the holidays.
That's wild. Krebs Glas Lasha. Ooh, Colt ornaments, yeah. Oh, you know what I just realized? We didn't do the giveaway. Well, I still need to enter in all of the names to a document. I never did that, so I'll do that tonight, and we'll be ready to go for the giveaway tomorrow. And again, we'll do the first and second place. Also, there's not as many people in here. We'll do it towards the beginning of the stream. Yeah, completely forgot about the giveaway. Sorry, Sky. Yeah, I have to get everyone's names entered in and whatnot. Oh, hey, Mr. Cricket, what are you doing in here? How'd you get in? We all forgot. I was gonna say, I hope I wasn't the only one. We'll zoom out. But yeah, I need to get all those entered in. We need to get a few more people added into the Discord as well. So we'll do that tonight. I'll get all of that added up, the list started. I need to work on your hair, Lucy. Marley, you gotta come tonight. You gotta come sign out. Yes, good dogs. I'll get all that entered in, we'll get it all figured out, and we'll get it ready for tomorrow. Ace, if you want to subscribe to TikTok tomorrow when we go back, that means you'll have time to do it. That means you can enter in to that giveaway. It'll be when we go live. Unfortunately, TikTok is the only way we have for subscriptions right now. But we will be back there around 11, maybe 10:30 for some subscriptions there, and then we will do the drawing tomorrow night. We'll probably do a third place as well, just because I took longer. But I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank y'all for being here. Mytho, Ace, Sky, everyone else who may be lurking in chat, Lucinda, who's definitely sleeping. I appreciate each and every one of you. I will be back. You know where to find me. Love y'alls. Good night.